Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They send us like 500 pieces of junk mail, and the only thing that's certified district we have.
Okay, did everybody have a chance to review the agenda?
I had a chance to review the agenda. I move to approve it.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the last regular meeting?
I did. I moved to approve the minutes from the last regular meeting.
And I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the last regular meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Oh, what is
Did everybody have a chance to review the vouchers? This one? Yeah.
I did. I moved to approve the vouchers as presented.
Yeah, after I checked out a couple of things, I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the vouchers as presented. Is there any further discussion? Did you have any questions on any of them?
No, I got them. I answered.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Hi, Christie.
Good morning.
Are you done with those? I am.
Okay, we have the CSBG subcontract agreement. Did you guys have any questions with this? This one, the dates have been changed, right?
Yes.
This is
the community service block grant that we used to get years ago until we decided we weren't gonna take it anymore because we couldn't meet the requirements of
Yes.
the grant.
yes,
And then
okay.
Didn't take it for a number of years and then, because of you gotta have a committee and
Yeah, okay, now I know what this one is now, yeah, okay. So I would move to approve a grant agreement between Calc and Platte County for the CSBG funding and authorize Clerk Urban to sign.
I'd second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the grant agreement between Calc and Platte County for CSBG funding and authorize Clerk Urban to sign. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have the National Opioid Settlement Agreement.
This is what Penny's been talking about,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the money that we don't know what to use for.
Use it for anything except for what you need to. So I would move to approve a Purdue National Opioid Settlement Agreement and authorize Clerk Urban to sign.
Yeah, after reading that the other day, I went through it. I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Purdue National Opioid Settlement Agreement and authorize Clerk Urban to sign. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Carries. And then we have the Military Department Dispatching Agreement. This is where the Military Department provides, I think it's $36,000 per dispatch.
That's right.
Yep. That we dispatch for them.
That's what it was, 36 change.
Yeah.
10%.
Yeah.
So I would, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I move to approve an interagency agreement between the Wyoming Military Department and Platte County.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the interagency agreement between the Wyoming Military Department and Platte County. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.
What's the difference in these two? Rusty?
I think one last month and one this month.
So I was looking at 720.
So what they have, like if you look at these, this is this month, so that's what she's got. Last month, so she's,
That's like 100.
yeah, from fair. Is where that came from, but I think we need to address that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 103.
That's why we,
Yes, okay, just so I just saw the same dates on
Yeah.
everything.
I don't think we looked at the one last month. That's why we're giving them both this month.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Okay, we have our county treasurer on the agenda. Good morning, Christie.
Good morning, guys. Haven't had much to report today. Tax notices did go out and they're starting to get those. First initial people coming back in. The sales tax, we went ahead and so far we've seen the town of Guernsey and the town of Chugwater, Malcolm and I have gone to their meetings to give them the payout for the 2019 sales tax collection. And he's getting us on the agenda for Parkville and Glendale.
That make them happy?
It was, yeah, I think they were a little startled that I was giving money back.
That's
Yeah.
what I think, that's making them
It was
happy.
startled, so.
And they understand they have to use it for those projects.
Yeah, I had a handout and so did Malcolm, refreshing them on what exactly their question said. But both towns seemed, they were on that page. They knew that it had to be used directly for what that question said. So yeah, and it was very interesting for the town meetings, so. And besides that, do you guys have any questions for me?
No, your stuff's pretty steady.
Yeah.
Malcolm did go ahead and, after discussing with him, we moved a lot of our general fund into a savings account. So we have just like 600,000 in our regular operating account. And last month, we made $13,000 in interest in that savings account. And so, as long as things proceed like they are, we should more than exceed our interest, the revenue estimate for our interest just by making that change.
Good,
So.
really good.
First State Bank was super good. That's where we keep most of our general fund money. I could switch it in and out depending on how the warrants came in. They can transfer in and out as many times as they need. So far it's done very well.
Good, that's really good.
Yeah, it was good to have a different set of eyes sort of look at and say, I want to try something a little different. So we're good and it's working, so that was great.
And then, do you want to talk a little bit about the White Cats agreement?
So, this is what Malcolm and I had presented to you about changing the general ledger and tax program and our motor vehicle over to that. Doug has reviewed the agreement and, they made a few changes on it, bless you. A few changes on it. We aren't a board member in the company, but we do have a voting right. So if there's things that we want changed, then we do have that option. We held off to start the conversion until after our taxes were sent out. Just the volume of information that had to been transferred before then. Decided to go ahead and make sure that was all settled and set out. And so, once we get this agreement, the impact will be great for both, our side, but especially the clerk side. But it's a company that the program is tailor-made for clerks and treasurers, and it works with the assessor side of it. So, once the agreement's signed, then they'll lay out the timeline for converting our information. Right now, we have back to 1994 in our motor vehicle information and back to 2002 in our property tax information. So they'll move that all over and then it'll begin. Do you guys have any questions about it or any?
So is there 5 counties in Wyoming that use this?
There are 5 counties already that use it. All of them expressed a lot of appreciation for how timely they were able to make changes, how they could go ahead and tailor-make it to how their county actually did business, even if it was slightly different than, even though we all operate under the same statutes, we, procedure-wise, we're a little different sometimes. So they all spoke well about.
Is this program used in other states also?
It's
Just Wyoming?
just Wyoming.
Okay.
As far as I know, he does, the gentleman that does the programming does operate also in Utah. for some of the cities over there, but it's not that. It's not this program. I mean, that he does that.
They're liking the integration part. Once
So,
they're-
all of them went together, all 5 of them went together at the same time, but the Uinta County treasurer was like, have me come over on a Friday, I'll stay Friday and Saturday, and so the stuff that you can't do during business that you need walk through, she's more than, willing to do that kind of stuff. The programmer was like, I'll be on site as long as you need me to make sure that when you go live with the information, then you're at a good place.
Mhm.
And
Then
so
this will take the place of something that you've been using in the past.
It'll take place of, we currently have, TaxWise, we have, TMS. TaxWise is our accounting and our motor vehicle. TMS is my tax program. And then I've just been using an integrated access program for our general ledger. And so that'll take place of those things.
One of those wasn't gonna be supported after a certain date.
Yeah, my tax program, the gentleman would have really liked to have retired, but because he sold, Natrona County the code for it, but we didn't have, that wasn't an option for us. I couldn't go ahead and figure out how to code it and that kind of stuff. They haven't, I'm like, they have an IT department that they were able to do that. So I am his only county that he does taxes for, and he'd really just like to be retired. And so,
Good.
So-
Hold his feet to the fire for another month or 2.
yeah, and he's on board to finish out this tax year for us to make sure that as we transition, things are good.
That's good.
But yeah, I would not have a tax program in our general ledger. I have to have an old computer to run the program because with our new operating system, you can't run it, so they have to keep an old system on.
Locked up in the vault. Nobody touches it.
Yeah,
Can't
you
break.
can't, nope. Nope, not at all, that's exactly it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is, it's a big lift for the employees, like Geneva's gonna have a lot, and on our side, we've had the same motor vehicle program for years, and so but it's gonna be good. Once it gets working, then it'll be great.
It's nice you're leaving everything just like perfect,
Yeah, I didn't wanna leave and then somebody new trying to figure out how to make something old work and.
You'd be in the office every day.
Yeah.
You don't wanna figure out how to make something old work.
Yeah, that seems unlike our family, to make something old work.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Do you guys have any more questions on this agreement? I would consider a motion.
Okay, I would move to approve an agreement between the 5 County Joint Powers Board and Platte County.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agreement between the 5 Joint Powers Board and Platte County. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good.
I just have one more question for you, Christie. In the tax notices, was there like a note in there about something that people are gonna have to do? Can you talk about that a little bit?
There was a notification in there, if you qualify for the homeowners, if you applied last year, you still have to reapply, but it's a shorter application, the long-term homeowners. It's a shorter application. If you, are just first going to go ahead and apply for the long-term homeowners, which means that you're 65 years old or older, you've paid property taxes in Wyoming for at least 25 years, not in Wyoming, not just Platte County, and not on the same place. It can be any aggregate of that for 25 years. and you live in your home at least 8 months a year, you can qualify for up to 50% of your taxes to be rebated. That one, you have to apply by May 26th of 2026 in order to get, even if you applied for the 2025 year and got it, you have to go ahead and reapply. The homeowner's exemption that you saw in your tax notice, that was the 25% off, and that was across the board. If you didn't qualify for the long-term homeowners, and it was a residential property, then it was 25% off your taxes. You have to apply this year, because you have to, like Jamie and I, we own a home in town and at the ranch. You have to declare which one's your primary home, and that's the one that you'll get that exemption on, rather than an across the board. So there's an application for that. It also said that if you're a veteran, you have to apply for that every year. It just gave the dates of that, and it's super important that if you want that exemption, that you go ahead and do the application process again. It's not an automatic, especially for the long-term homeowner. We want people to be very clear that just because you qualified in 2025, it doesn't make it automatic for 2026. You have to, and it's really short. The net said that it's just pretty much nothing's changed since last year. Still our primary residence.
It's just a shorter process.
It takes about 30 seconds to fill out the paper. It's basically, you would write, I, Jeanette Epple, state that nothing has changed since when I qualified in 2025. I live at this address, you sign your name, you write your date of birth and your phone number, and that's it. So as long as you qualified last year, it's super easy. We do plan to, for anybody who doesn't come in and do that application, we'll go through our list of who all got it last year, and we'll send them out that affidavit just to make sure that everybody who qualified for it last year gets it again this year. But we'll wait until closer to that deadline before.
In case they missed that information
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay.
Yep, and we've had a lot of people already inquiring about the homeowner's exemption, which that application won't open up until October 1st. But we've had lots of people already calling and
And you only have
inquiring
to be
about that.
concerned about that one if you have more than one resident.
No, you need to do that, like I would need to do that.
No matter what, everybody has to do it.
Yes, so like Christy did a great job of explaining it. The main difference this year is that, yes, you have to apply for it, and now for tax year 2025, everybody got it on their rentals, on their primary home, anything and everything. For tax year 2026, it is only on your owner-occupied primary residence.
Thanks for bringing that up, Steve. That's super important. We want people to know that.
Any other questions for Christie? Thanks, Christie.
Thank you.
Okay, we have our predatory animal board on our agenda. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Thank you. So I brought a copy of our budget there, and then also every year, discuss who's on the board and then who can write bounties. So there's a sheet for each one of those as well there. We're pretty much holding the same every year. And you know, this year we didn't have to stop paying in the spring. We was able to go ahead and just kind of let it play out like it normally does in March and April. And so, I don't know if we've kind of got a handle on the coyotes or what, or people just didn't come in yet, and there'll be some this fall in December, but our money's pretty much staying the same. We did discuss after our meeting, like in January or February, of doing a new program, and we can't really change it until December when we have our annual meeting. But what we're thinking is possibly, we talked with the Game and Fish, and they have some money that they would kick into it, but maybe try to pay more for the coyotes that are killed in the spring through the April, June period, because it seems like it's kind of
Before
like
they have
kill their pup, or kill the adult, and you might get the pups as well.
Okay.
And so the Game and Fish are really excited about that because with all their studies, that's when the wildlife is getting attacked and they think if we can get the hunters out there and do a little more aggressive in the spring, we might be better on the deer population and stuff like that. So, like I said, we can't really make any decisions until our December meeting, but that's what we're looking into. Mick Burr, he's the chairman, him and Brian Matthews. We're working with the Game and Fish people to kind of come up with a proposal and have at the December meeting to look at something like that.
What is spring considered? Like from when to when?
Well, and that's something we will have to set up as a board, but the talk was like probably April through June.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, and as long as they're bountied in that period, or that's what they were talking at the meeting, is as long as they were killed and bountied in that period, then they could still collect the bounty throughout the year whenever, but we might add another $10 or $15 to the bounty instead of just being 35. Those coyotes would be 45 or 50.
I think so. I mean, like you said, you're buying that and maybe a den with
Yeah,
it.
you might be buying 2 for 1 or
Exactly.
3 or 4 for 1, and so.
They normally pop out first week of June in that area around here.
I think it's a little earlier than that.
It's earlier than that.
Has there been any discussion about like these teams that come in with the night vision scopes that, I know
Well, there's a lot of them doing it.
you know, they'll come in and a couple guys will go out in the night and they'll get 12 to 15 coyotes in a night with the night vision scopes, which is quite a few coyotes.
Right.
For just 8 hours or something sitting out there.
And I don't know, we have never had any stipulation on that, or anything, because we don't ask when they killed them, we just.
But what I was wondering, some counties hire planes and fly, trying to kill more coyotes, but I was just thinking, because they're so successful at that, if there was a problem paying those guys to come in and do that. If that-
Since I've been on the board, we have never had to pay to help, and I've been on there quite a few years. We did have a person come to us and asks for help, and instead of hiring somebody to come fly, we just recommended a hunter to go down and help them out with their problem, and they did, and their problem went away, and kind of was a good relationship for both the hunter and those, and took care of that problem. And so that's what the board is doing first, is if they want to make sure that they're letting people hunt on them, because some ranchers say, no, they don't want them out there hunting. So we approach it with the approach, well, we've got a select set of hunters that are very good and they're respectful of the land owner and stuff. Would you try working with them first and see if we can take care of your problem? And that's as far as it's ever went, because it worked. And we had one last year, and they decided to get their own night scope and do some little more aggressive hunting. And I haven't seen all their bounties from the spring, but I know they're gonna have a pretty good number. So.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't really matter to the board when they bounty the coyotes, whether they do it once in the year or year round. It doesn't matter, as long as they have a bounty slip that's dated and proof that they killed them
Yeah.
on Platte County, so. But as you can see, there's a list of who can write bounties. It's pretty long. I mean, there's quite a few of them that
Yeah.
can do it, so. And of course, we have some hunters that, kill way more than others. Some come in with 2 or 3 a month, and some will come in with 15 or so a month.
What is your bounty now?
35.
35?
It is until December, and then we'll reevaluate for the next year. But as of the meeting last year in December, the board was not a bit interested in raising the bounty or raising the charge to the rancher because we felt it was pretty equitable. And so, and it seems like we're kind of holding off with our same amount of money from year in and year out. And so, unless the board changes, I don't see any big changes in anything. And there was some hunters that said, hey, that isn't enough. But the board didn't agree.
For what? I mean, that's what I go, for what?
Recreation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Well, and the ones that were really complaining, they try to live off of their bounty and coyotes. So, it's, we don't want it to be a business. We want it to be just a way to help the ranchers out and
If it was gonna be a business, we would probably wanna approach it like what Steve says. If it's gonna be a business and you guys have to get serious and I wanna see you guys out there with this and that and whatever else. But it's not that. It's recreation right now, more or less.
And there is a few ranchers that do fly, I guess,
Mhm.
once a year and stuff, but, those ranchers don't come in bounty.
No, no.
They just.
Because it's, they're doing something that is good for them.
Right.
So,
I think we have more hunters, sportsmen, the bounty coyotes than we do actually the ranchers.
yes. Which is good. I think that's good because honestly, it's more effective at it anyways,
Right.
you know?
Well, I know if I shoot one, I forget.
Yeah.
If I shoot one, I forget to throw the dang thing in the pickup and so I leave it there and
Yeah.
I get the bounty, but it solved my issue.
Yeah, that's not what you're not chasing $35.
No.
You're chasing what we're trying to get with $35. And so if you can just do it by yourself, good deal.
Right.
Yeah, the same way.
Come a long way from when we used to get $2 for ears and we'd turn them into Sheriff Mickelson. I mean, that was it. You bring in a set of ears, you get $2.
That's right.
And then, and another thing that's getting real popular is these days where
You
they
gotta have them both.
give them 24 hours to
Oh,
do a
yeah.
coyote run and
Mhm.
and these contests and stuff, and they're all over the state.
Yeah.
And, cause there's like, I know a gentleman that he went to like 5 or 6 of them last year around the state and done, but.
Yeah.
The big thing is we just wanna keep the coyotes around here, not get them from there. And that's, we're watching those people that do a lot of that, to make sure they're not bounding a bunch after one of those.
Right.
based on your bounty payout, you've killed over 600 coyotes.
Exactly, yeah, so. And it's been staying right in there between 500 and 700 for a number of years, like I said, as
Yeah.
long as I've been on there. I think one year we were up to 950, but then the next year we was way down.
I don't actually think it's very effective, like coyotes, but I think like in the spring, that might be the best thing that you guys change for.
I think so too.
Yeah, it might be the
And it
one
might
thing.
make those hunters more aggressive to get out there in spring. Because by springtime, they got other things on their mind and so they don't get it quite as much. But
Yeah, yeah.
if there's an extra $10 or something per coyote, it might make them more interesting.
Yeah, and it do the job that we're asking to do better. Like that's when you need to have suppression.
And I know when we had the game and fish guy come and introduce himself and talk to the group and we come up, I don't remember who it was, came up with the idea of, because he was talking about the most effective time to kill the coyotes for the deer population was in the spring. And so, I don't know who it was, but somebody mentioned, well, maybe we ought to increase the bounty on that spring coyote, and they got real excited.
Yes.
And so we said, well, is there money that can help us? Can you kick in a few $1,000s for help? And he said, he's gonna work on it, so.
Yeah,
I don't know what that amount's gonna be yet, or any of that, so.
that's cool. That's a good idea. Whoever had that, give him an attaboy.
Is there any more questions for Bill?
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we have our assessor on the agenda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's that?
Get my wrist left.
It's a small pile,
You go.
Steve, come on.
Doing his wrist dances over here.
Work reduction act that the assessor's office could do.
I can easily email these, I would be more than happy to, we scan them in our office and then toss them. So I would be happy just to email them to you, and you can put a digital signature on there and call it a day.
Yeah. All right, what do you have for us today?
All right, so the first one is, what it is, it's a tax cancellation and then a reissue. So basically, we're canceling it, we're modifying it. So there was a court decree that was filed in 2024 splitting some land and buildings amongst two folks. So we canceled the tax bill for, they were both under Norma Douglas's name. In the court decree, some land went to Jody Poling and some went to, really went to Sonny Douglas, but then it ended up going into Stephen's name. So we're canceling the 2025 tax bill, one of them for account R 1543, as well as account 1542. And then we did two new tax bills in the name of Stephen and then James and Jody Poling.
And what was the amount on that?
The cancellation for 1543 was $2,563.53. And for account 1542 was $851.43.
And what else do you have?
Then we have two more tax cancellations and then modifications to the tax bills. When we go and we enter in the road tax for Wyo, accidentally one person got the wrong amount of road tax put on their account, and then Leo and Marianne even, they didn't get the assessment put on their tax bill. So we're canceling the bill for Leo and Marianne even, account number R1412 in the amount of $494.63. We added that road assessment and then reissuing them a new bill. And then we canceled the tax bill for Oliver and June Johnson for account number R10125 for $2,102.19. And we reduced their bill by the overage of the road tax. So their new bill will be $1,761.39. And depending on if it's on, there's a separate rate for Coyote Road than there is for the rest. But it needs more work.
Yeah, 'cause some of those are on like Maine or Antelope or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Any questions on those for tonight?
No, it's just the three, isn't it?
There's really just 4 tax cancellations, and then additions and modifications to
Okay.
them.
I would move to approve the tax cancellations and modifications as presented.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the tax cancellations and modifications as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries.
What was the first one? Was it $2,000 something?
One was $851 and the other one was,
You get there.
494.63.
First one.
2563.53.
And
Okay.
851.43.
Okay.
And then we just reissued without.
That starts, okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tina.
Okay, we have maintenance department. Good morning, Jim. What do you have for us today?
We're just doing our fall stuff. We're getting ready to host the high school rodeo this weekend. So we're doing some prep work for that out there. The jail is getting their new evidence room. The interior of that, all the shelving and stuff is going in now. So we should be,
That's in the basement.
yes, yep, in that new room that we built last year.
That's what those guys are doing out there in
Yes.
the safety vest?
Yep.
Okay.
So when they get all their stuff installed, then we'll finish up our portion, which is like some trim work and some baseboard around their stuff. So we'll get that done, tidied up. Library, I just was told this morning that they got that makerspace grant. So we can move forward with making that space available for them. Which is basically, we're gonna move their magazine room to a different corner and make their makerspace into where the magazines are. Which would be just, we need to fill in the hole and put a door on and put some new flooring in, type thing for that.
That's upstairs.
Yes, yep. So courthouse, we got a new pump on our water feature.
Saw that.
So we'll see how long this one goes.
Several minutes.
Before it gets shut off for winter.
Well, yeah.
It's basically pumping antifreeze right now.
The good thing about that is we didn't have to pay for any of that. We don't pay for that pump or anything, so that's all
Yeah.
done through Todd Rowe with the landscape company.
That's
So-
very nice.
So I just called him.
He's holding up his end of the deal pretty well.
Yes,
isn't he?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, it's taken him a little bit to get the pumps back in and out, but
Understandable, probably. He probably has to move some rocks around, doesn't he?
yeah. So, so the next time I meet with you guys, I'll bring you a list of capital construction projects that different departments have asked me to do. So we're working on getting that done, estimates on them, whatnot, and then I'll bring them to you. You can say yea or nay.
Where are you at with some of these concerns that popped up from the jail as far as, you know, the holes and the painting and the this and the that and that kind of thing? Are they scheduled so far out, or where are you at with that?
With which I don't have any concerns from them.
Other than the bugs.
That was done yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep, we got that sprayed yesterday.
No, this was some concerns that was, what, a month and a half ago,
Paint.
that were just talked about going forward as far as, you know, this pod work.
Oh, a pod reno?
Yeah.
I just talked to Ward a little bit. I'd like to start that hopefully in November. We get some of these other little projects done up. Then I'd like to start in I'm thinking like D-pod, which is the worst one. It's got some welding that needs to be done in there on the stairs. Put some new concrete in there and we'll renovate that whole pod.
And one of the bills that we went through this morning's got what appears to me to be all that toilet water control flushing materials on, from valves to this to.
Right, there was, when we made our last purchase from Icon, they shorted us a section of a pod.
Okay,
So that's to finish that.
yeah, cause there was valves and time, yeah, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff on there.
Yep.
And I looked at that bill and I thought, what is that for? And then I looked at the bill and said, oh, that's for the
Yep, that's the retrofit for the
For
the sink and the toilets.
Yeah,
Yep.
for the
So-
no flood problem,
Right,
okay.
which I believe has helped tremendously.
Yeah.
So,
So that's on your schedule too.
yes, probably this week. We'll get in there and get those. So there's 4 cells, which is 2 chases, that we'll get those, put in, and then that whole rental, or that retrofit will be done. So, we've done, air filters throughout that building. The Agriplex, the Coleman building has all been changed, within the last 2 weeks. So, we're good there.
What did you find was the cause over there at the health department on that?
There was a broken wire on the blower motor, which caused the whole thing to freeze up. So,
So it wasn't moving any air,
wasn't moving any air. So,
but yet, so the compressor's working, condenser's working,
Yep.
pumping Freon through the evaporator, no air's going through it, so it turns into a block of ice.
exactly.
And what kind of redundancy does that have up there, if it has any?
None.
Okay.
How old is that system, do you know?
Oh,
Original with the building?
probably. There's, I believe there's 8 of those little units in there, in that whole building.
So
So,
was it just one that caused the problem?
yes.
Are they like a mini split, or what are they?
No, they're just a small,
Little standalone?
Yep.
So many square feet?
Yep.
Okay.
you know, so, and with talking to, Penny, she said it had been making some noise, but they didn't inform me of that until it was dripping water,
Yeah.
so.
For a small unit, that seems like a lot of water.
Yeah, but it was ice clear down the pipe,
In the chase?
Finally get some humidity in
So-
the air and it turns into a problem.
Turns into ice.
Yeah, it turns into ice.
we got it fixed and overnight it thawed and turned it back on the next morning and things could just, so.
You've had fans going in there and all that?
Yep, we'll be in there, probably the first of next week, and we'll start shampooing all those carpets with a disinfectant. And, we put disinfectant down to begin with, but, we'll go in and use our machine, and get it all tidied up. So-
Once it's dry, completely dry.
so,
Very good. What was the project that you did out at the fairgrounds with, Jason Welding?
He provided, the metal, or the drill stem for the, beef tie-out. And then he built the 4 gates that go on the indoor barn for fair.
So that was all done before the fair.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause there was 2 bills on that. One, first one was Megan Marks, like materials, and then the other one was,
that was for the gates, yep.
okay.
So we paid a percentage up front, and then when he finished the last one, which we ended up picking up after fair, but, then we paid that one after fair, or paid the rest of that invoice after fair.
We just figured that's what it was when we was looking at bills this month, but didn't know.
We thought, yeah, it was, had to be some kind of fair.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all I have for you guys. Oh, no, there's one more thing. Jenny would like me to go to a Wyoming Fair Association meeting in October up in Douglas. She said they have, a couple of speakers that talk about grounds and maintenance. And she asked me if I would go with her, and I said I would have to give you guys' blessing to go. So,
What dates? Just one day?
no, well, it's 3 days, and I asked her if she could get like an itinerary and hopefully if there was only one day that they were speaking, then that would be the day that I would go with it. Yes. But they hadn't posted an itinerary yet, so.
Yeah, when you get that information, let us know.
I will.
Who's talking, or who's giving the talks, you know?
I don't.
Might just have them come stop by on the way up,
Yeah.
give you 4 hours of fairgrounds. Seriously, might as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so. I think that's what I have for you.
Okay, you guys got any questions for Jim?
No.
You said you've got all the filters replaced going in the winter,
Courthouse,
all the HVAC filters?
yeah,
everywhere?
jail,
You have them all on a schedule, don't you?
yes, we do them every 4 months.
And at the end of 4 months, you don't have like 2 or 3 of them that are like 90% plugged, where you'd have to adjust your schedule or anything? Depends upon the
We
building.
haven't yet, no,
Okay.
unless we, obviously, if we missed one, but hopefully we don't do that again.
And then did you check all those other units in this building to make sure they were level and?
Yes, yep, in fact, the, Dan's up there today, putting the rest of the drains in some of those other pans. So,
Okay.
I think
The
the guy
backup in the
from,
pans to tie into the other?
yes,
Okay.
yep. The guy from Long is supposed to be here today or tomorrow, to get that vent put in, that other, and then the sensor, we'll put the new sensor in, so.
Because that one still hadn't replaced,
Mhm.
the one in the, okay.
But we go up there at least once a week and make sure there's nothing new.
Yeah.
So I can put that on the schedule to,
Well, by doing that backup part, you probably never have a sensor alarm again.
so,
I mean, if you do, just like, whoa,
right.
yeah.
We're putting them high enough that it should hit the sensor and go off before it starts draining,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, it wouldn't do much good to put them in the bottom of the pan.
So, that's what I have. We'll start winterizing sprinkler systems in the next couple weeks probably and get that going.
Get your snow removal equipment ready.
Bring it on. We need it. Not that I want it, but we need it. So.
I'll eat an extra donut every once in a while, I guess you can shovel snow. I'll get her done.
Maybe we need to talk Beal on going on vacation
Yeah.
all winter.
You know,
All winter, yeah,
it does always happen when he's gone.
that's right. We'll never live that down.
All right.
All right, thanks, Jim.
You betcha.
Jim.
Okay, we're just a little bit ahead of schedule. I assume you guys are from Van Ewing Construction. Good morning.
Morning.
Why don't you give us a kind of an overview of your, yeah, if you want to come up front, that'd be great.
Do a little slideshow if that'd be
That'd be
fine.
great, yeah. Did you bring popcorn?
Yeah.
Did you guys drive down this morning?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice drive.
Sun wasn't quite in our eyes. That was good.
Yeah. Looks like it rained a little, so that's not too bad.
That's good.
Better than snow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need snow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to start out, my name is Jake Ewing with Van Ewing Construction. I'm the president of Van Ewing Construction. Just want to start out by thanking you guys for allowing us to interview on your guys' next project. I've been here now 3 times to look at this building, and it's definitely a beautiful courthouse. With me today, Trevor Larson here. He's our vice president of Van Ewing Construction. And then our design firm, State Line Number 7, Lyle Murtha out of Casper.
Just put that just on, sorry, click on the slideshow right there.
Yeah, just a quick overview of our company. Our corporation was established in 1998. Our primary office location is in Gillette. We do have a secondary office in Sheridan. We mostly deal with commercial construction. So we have a lot of experience in civic buildings, government buildings. We've completed higher education, office buildings, sports complexes, healthcare buildings, event centers, a lot of K through 8 education projects, federal government projects, et cetera. So our firm, most background is commercial municipal buildings. And we are a 100% Wyoming contractor.
Mostly ground up, Jake, or?
We do remodels as well, and we do some civil projects involving roads and streets and stuff. But it seems like recently it's been a lot more remodels that we've been involved in. We just recently, last year, completed the remodel of the Campbell County Courthouse. But,
Depends how much coal, oil, and gas are bringing out of the ground. We go all of a sudden, we go, let's do a remodel instead
Yeah.
of new construction.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It was outlined in the RFQ, but just wanted to outline our project team that we proposed on your guys' project. Trevor here, he would be the project manager on the project. He has 30 years construction experience, 21 years with Van Ewing Construction. His roles and responsibilities on this project would be pre-construction, budgeting, value engineering, schedule development, and then once he moved into construction, he would be in charge of quality control, cost control, overseeing subcontractor performance, et cetera. I would be involved in mostly the pre-construction, helping with the budgets, scheduling, constructability reviews, procuring subcontractors and suppliers. And then Jeff Patello, he would be our project superintendent. He has 28 years of construction experience, 10 years with Van Ewing Construction. He'd be on site leading and managing the team, coordinating with you as the owner on safety and the overall work and quality control. Lyle here, design, he'll talk more about the design team, but he has 33 years of architectural experience, and he'll discuss many projects he's completed with historical buildings. But Robert Lauer with Lauer and Company, kind of structural engineer, he has 39 years of experience. Jack Hollinger with Engineering Design Associates, mechanical engineer, he has 30 years, and Monty Scheif has 26 years as an electrical engineer. So the team we proposed is a highly qualified team for this project. I just wanted to outline a couple recent projects that we've completed that are very similar to your guys' project. Currently, right now, we're working with Lyle on the Old Stony Phase 2 project in Sundance. This building was built in 1923. It's on the National Historic Register. Right now, we're completing the exterior masonry tuck pointing, soffit repairs. We're doing a 4,600 square foot interior remodel, and which includes meeting rooms, banquet rooms. We were hired on as the construction manager at risk in that project in the beginning with Lyle, and we worked with Lyle's team, and when they were designing the project, we provided budgets and made sure that the project stayed within budget. That project was funded by a grant, so it had to be in budget. But we're currently on that. I'm the project manager on that. Trevor worked in the pre-construction, and Jeff as the superintendent, and then Lyle's team. The second project that we completed in 2023 is the Sheridan Courthouse and Jail Restoration Project. That project, or buildings, courthouse was built in 1904 and the jail was in 1913. Same as your guys' project, we replaced the roof, did masonry tuck pointing, replacement of some wood soffits. They have a tunnel that connects their jail to their courthouse. We repaired that. And that building as well is on the National Historic Registry. The project team on that, Trevor was the project manager, and I worked on pre-construction, and then Eric Headley was our superintendent. Lyle now will give you more of a background of his experience and the design team.
So those engineers that were mentioned, they're the same ones that I use on almost all of my projects, probably 95% of my jobs. When I get to pick the engineers, I've been working with them for probably my whole career, especially the structural engineer. So a little bit about just my firm. I've been around for 33 years or so in Wyoming, and we just celebrated our 20th anniversary of my firm last month. When we opened our doors back in 2005, it was boom here, and all the other firms were busy doing new schools. So I got all of these types of projects, all the remodels and historic buildings, and that's how we started to cut our teeth on doing these types of projects. And so the majority of the work that we did in those early days, and even today now, is still doing historic work and even office remodels. So we've done so much of this type of work that the Business Council Main Street hired us to document our experience. In fact, I'll have Trevor hand out this brochure that we published, and it's really our collective experience and knowledge on historic building renovations. It's 107 pages. It's really meant to demystify how you go about remodeling a historic building, so it's meant for public consumption. That brochure is free for anyone to have. It's on our website, and it's on the Business Council's website as well. But that includes all our information about historic and adaptive reuses. That brochure is broken down, if you go to the next slide, it's broken down into different segments: environment, building code, facade, historic materials, structure, and design. So it really covers everything, and I'm not gonna go into great detail on all of that. I just really wanted to make you guys aware that our team has a lot of experience with historic buildings. So over 65 historic buildings that we've worked on over the years, and that doesn't include my buildings I did before I established my own firm. And then just further, if we go to the next slide. So this was my building in Casper when I bought it. So I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I have my own historic building in Casper, and looked like this when I bought it, and now it looks like this. So we remodeled that, and I was my own general contractor on that. We, of course, had a re-roof and a window replacement, all of that type of stuff.
It looks
on that
nice.
project.
Looks very nice.
Thank you. And then go to the next slide. We also recently completed just this spring a tuck pointing of the brick on partial. Go back a slide, actually. So. Anyway. Just completed a tuck pointing on a partial section of that building just this spring. And I'm my own janitor and maintenance person on that building for all the years that I've owned it. So I understand historic buildings from a very personal standpoint. And of course, it's on a budget because it's my money I'm spending, not the client's money, so I understand that perspective too. Work continues on that project to this day. And as mentioned, we've completed over 65 of these historic buildings. We're really familiar with the National Historic Register landmarks and working with the State Historic Preservation Office. And of course, that means working in compliance with the Secretary of Interior standards as well. So we're very familiar with all of that. So now just to roll into a few examples of those 65 projects, I'm not going to show you all of them, but this first one is Windsor Block, and the previous slide just shows the before picture, but this is the after picture. So there's the before, the facade was actually covered over, and
Oh, wow.
we took that facade off and then repaired the masonry, of course, on the facade and put some lofts on the upper level of that building. So that's what it looks like today, and of course included a re-roof. Next project is Elks Lodge, also in Rapid City, and that included some work on the facade and an interior restoration of that building. The next project is in Hot Springs, South Dakota, and it's the old veterans home, and we did a window replacement, of course, a roof repair on that project.
It's doing it, so I don't want to stop it.
And then the next project is the Bustards Funeral Home in Casper. I'm gonna get the slideshow working.
It's just stepping on you, on your toes.
Looking at your current workload, this project would fall right into there, it looks like.
Yeah, we're actually finishing up a big job right now, it's going out, so like starting the new year, we're gonna be ready to go. Even before that, we're bidding a project in Rock Springs, that's a pretty big project, but otherwise we'll be ready to go from a workload standpoint.
Yeah, I'm looking at these completion dates on your current workload in here and seeing, okay, you got, that's down the road, that's April the 26th, June the 26th, August the 26th. This one's November 25, August 25, that's probably done by now, we're real close. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, as far as projects in design, we're wrapping up,
Nice,
like I
left
said,
and
the
right
big one.
Left
And
and right arrow.
the ones that I have listed that are under construction, it's minimal
Yeah.
effort from my standpoint once
Yeah.
it goes to construction.
Right. But it's all got a 50 days, sorry.
No, that's all right.
So we skipped a couple projects here, but this project is our 321 in Casper. We did some facade repairs here and of course a re-roof. And the next project slide should be the historic fire station in Casper, there it is. And you go to even the next slide, that shows we had to uncover the portion of the building there and reconstruct the facade that shows on the left-hand side slides there. So, and that was a separate project spanning several years. This took to get all this work done, but of course include restoring that portion of the facade and getting the paint off there, and then it included a re-roof as well. And the next project is the Sinclair Town Hall project. We restored the facade, it's stucco on there, and then did a re-roof as well. And the next project is Parco Sinclair Theater. It's, there's the before, and this is what it looks like today.
When did you guys do this project?
What's that?
When did you complete this project?
The stucco was done separately, so it was actually just 2 years ago. It was
Oh, yeah.
fully completed, but the theater was in operation for a year or two before that because we completed the
Oh, yeah.
interior first. Yep. So that included a facade restoration and a re-roof as well. Next project is the Nolan in Casper. This is actually the Blacktooth Brewery. This is the before picture, and there's the after, and you can see we had to reconstruct the facade. We had to do a brick match because in order to find more brick of the same color and type, so that was an extensive search, which you'll probably have on your building. here as well. And of course, a re-roof on that. We did a full tuck pointing as well. The mortar was really bad on this building. Next project is the barn loft in Cheyenne. This is a project for Cynthia Senator Lummis and her daughter, and the before picture, and then here's the after. We did some work, of course, restoring the facade and re-roof, of course. And then the last project that Jake already mentioned is the Old Stony project. We've been working on that since 2016 when the phase 1 work started. We did window repair on that phase 1, and now we're getting into the tuck pointing on phase 2 and all of the exterior work, all the remaining exterior work with Van Ewing. And of course, we have to, this one is pretty special. We have to do a mortar analysis, which is probably what you're gonna have to do on this building too, is send your mortar into a lab to make sure you get the right mix going back. You don't wanna mess that up. So we have that kind of experience. In fact, Jake and I were just talking about that before the meeting. The mason's actually ready to do their mock-up sample and give us the lab results.
So
They're
that's
still doing a lot of that conventional type mortar versus the new epoxy type stuff, or?
Oh, yeah. On historic buildings, we want to go back as close as we can to the original mortar, especially if it's lasted for the duration. But we also take the lab's recommendation if they say, well, you should be adding this in to make sure it's a longer life. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about how they made the mortar. It's like, hey, you got some sand over there? Yeah. Got some water? Yeah. Throw this stuff in there and we'll mix it up and we'll put it in between the bricks. It'll hold for a while.
Sometimes it's that way. My building is an example of that.
Yeah.
But, this building in Sundance, it had a good mix.
Did it?
And I think if you've not tuck pointed your building before, and I don't think it looks like it has, then you probably had a good mix if it's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Because that's about how long it should last.
I think the Sheridan Courthouse had like they had
Yes.
come in and done repairs, and so they were in different parts of it, they had to come up with like 5 different, to fix it right.
And
So-
somebody
Yeah.
probably didn't grind it out, they just went in and re-tuck pointed.
Right, yeah.
It fell out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's definitely a process.
And even finding the right contractor, the right mason is not easy. So we have a lot of experience in finding those people regionally because you're probably not gonna find them in Wheatland. You may find 1 or 2 in Wyoming, and then beyond that, you're searching the greater region. And that's true of a lot of the different work that goes into these historic buildings, because most contractors are used to building new stuff and they don't even understand how to do the historic stuff or how to do it right. So,
Our mason in Sheridan actually was out of Ohio.
Yeah.
so that's really just the end of my portion of the presentation. Just wanted to make sure you guys understood the design team knows how to do historic buildings and we'll do it right.
Does look like a lot of money.
A lot of money.
What's the average project on those, project costs on those projects you put up?
So like, say Old Stony, the phase 2 work is about 2.5.
2.5, yeah, the tuck pointing is about 700,000.
That includes about a 5,000 square foot renovation on the upper floor for bathrooms
Yeah.
and stuff. And then, like Jake said, the exterior work. So it's not always super expensive. It can be, but it's
Yep.
not always.
Sheridan Courthouse and jail project we completed was a little over 3 million, which was mostly exterior work. So,
It's about, we're talking about the same money, so probably feasible. We can get it done.
Yeah, so we just kind of outlined the design build concept and goals. So as Lyle's been talking about, I mean, they're really one that's gonna meet with you along with us to just, design solutions that address the needs and concerns that you guys have. So, that's the initial part of that, and just making sure that, everything is up to date and current with building codes and so forth. So, So that'd be the first part, and then also us on the budget side, again, that's really important to us to get an accurate budget along the way, because you guys have a certain amount of money set aside that you wanna stay in with. And we work hand in hand with Lyle during that design to make sure that we stay on track with that budget. You know, we wanna be as close as we can, because if we say, if we're budgeting high, and then you're over and we have to start scaling the project back and then we bid it out, and now you're back under, you know, and you're like, well, we just cut all this stuff out. So it's really important for us to just stay on track with Lyle and his design and keep things with an accurate budget. So that's really important to us, so that when we do bid out the packages, we're on or under budget. Right? Again, schedule, we put together a schedule, you know, as the scopes are defined, and again, that's important to us. Not only for you, the owner, so that we give you an accurate date of when we complete, but also with our subcontractors to hold them accountable to do the work in the time frame that we said it would be completed. So we track that schedule and then just make adjustments along the way.
Especially will be important here because a lot of this is weather dependent, you know, to get that motor on. You don't wanna spend money on winter protection if you don't have to, so.
Local contractor involvement, we try and reach out as much as we can to local. You know, again, there's specialty contractors that may not be available in this area, but we always try and look for qualified subcontractors that we can utilize locally. That's important to us. Quality control, again, you know, between myself and our project superintendent who is on site, really that's us, but also Lyle is a part of that as well, because again, just like you said with the masons, I mean, that's really part of his and making sure that the products that go in there are correct and done correct. And so we kind of work hand in hand, both with our subs and our suppliers, to provide a quality product. Project challenges, again, you know, since COVID, like budget has been, seems like we fight that on every project. You know, not only material prices, which some of those have leveled out, but labor prices have gone up, and so it's just part of it. You know, we used to be able to do stuff kind of off of square foot pricing and say, yeah, it costs you this much. We don't even do that anymore. But again, that's just part of our process, and we provide a very detailed, broken down estimate so you can see where that's at. And you know, during the design, we're working with Lyle on any value engineering. If there's something that's been specified, but we can get the same, basically the same outcome with something that's maybe not as expensive. I know on the Sheridan County Courthouse, we basically fabricated, and you've got them on your buildings, the dentile blocks that are up there underneath there. We made them ourselves and installed it instead of going through like a restoration hardware company that was just extremely expensive. So those are the things that we can identify to try and bring those costs and keep them down in check. Rural location, again, I mean, we work in Wyoming, so we're used to that. I mean, a lot of our suppliers are, you know, not locally, and so again, we try and buy locally as much as we can, but we do have the resources to reach out through a database of suppliers, subs, to do that. And then just, again, we work that into our schedule to make sure that we're taking that into consideration on any long lead items and things like that, to see if we can find more readily available products in the area. Occupied courthouse, yeah, so we've done a major well, how many times have we worked on the courthouse in Gillette? Three times over the course of 21 years, and it's always been occupied. And so working within the building, working after hours if we're gonna disrupt things. So we're used to that. The Sheridan County Courthouse was similar. one we're working on right now, the old Stony building, same thing. So both between staff, the public, safety is a huge priority for us to just minimize those risks. Making a plan for that so that we're not jeopardizing that over the course of the project. So fees, yeah, so we, basically we have design fees, and then we have general contractor fees. It's broken down there. They're both, basically, percentage fee based on the total construction costs. We have those, Jake has those in a sealed envelope for you. We knew this was a public meeting, and so, we'll give those to you, and you're welcome to review it. We just didn't know what access, on that, so we'll give that to you, for review. And then just a note too on our general contractor fees, so we have a construction fee in there, again, which is percentage fee based on the total construction costs. And then, separately, which would be a part of our estimate and proposal to you, would be the general conditions, bonds, permits, supervision, basically what it takes to run that job, that would be submitted, along with, our proposal once we were selected. So, just an explanation on that. Yeah, so just kind of wrapping up, I mean, why choose our team? Jake talked about, the number of years, of experience, in our team. We feel we're a very well qualified, team that's done a lot of facets of construction, in Wyoming. And so, and then teaming up with Lyle, just, I think when you look at that and his scope of work, he's very, very, experienced in the historical building side, and we basically manage that. Team player, our approach, yeah, we really use the word team, and in order for it to be successful between us, Lyle, and yourselves, we all have to be on the same page, and so we really specify that to work together for a successful project. 100% Wyoming team. Again, our design team and our construction team we're all in Wyoming. We don't have offices elsewhere. Commit to standing by our craftsmanship and warranty. Again, we've won a lot of awards for our craftsmanship. We feel like we've put together a very skilled team of not only our management side, but we self-perform a lot of work, and we have quality people in doing that. And again, if expectations are never met, we always stand by our warranty. And again, because we're in the area, that's important to us to service that as well. Critical to be an advocate for the owner. Again, this is your project. You're basically working for the citizens of your community. So that's kind of the ownership team, is not only you guys, but your community. I mean, most courthouses are kind of a beacon in the middle of these towns, and so we just really want to make sure we advocate for you, and do the best we can for you guys. We stand on our track record of accurate budgets. I mean, we have a number of projects where we gave a GMP, and in the end, came within like less than 1% of what we budgeted for. So we take pride in that. Talk a little bit about our ability to self-perform work. So again, that helps us, just because we do have qualified staff to do that. We can rely on our own manpower, our own equipment, which a lot of times gives us more control of the schedule as well, if we can do that. We also feel our current workload is very accommodating to the project, and so we don't take on more work than what we can do. It doesn't do us any good to do that. Wyoming, it's a small community, and it doesn't take very long to, if you can't service the project, that word gets out that you can't do that. So we're committed to this and feel that it works into our schedule very well. One more, I think. Yeah. So, Jake, was there anything you wanted to add with that?
Oh, no, we just have a little handout, just kind of highlighted why We're the best.
Yes,
dealer with
thank you.
us. Just so you guys can read. And here's an envelope of the fees.
Okay.
No, we're open to getting us up any questions.
Oh, yeah.
Your subcontractors that you use, you've probably got a decent relationship length with them to where they're not new to you. And, you know, you've had a good working relationship in the past on XYZ projects and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we, again, we, you know, like Trevor kind of mentioned, is a team. Our subcontractors are part of our team as well. And we want to work with them, and we have a good track experience with all our subs, really.
And it's not really just them and their experience, but it's also me and my design team. We also review who's bidding the project as subcontractors too, so we make sure that none of my team has had a bad experience also.
And I think even our relationship with our subs goes down to having an accurate schedule. Because it's frustrating to subs if your schedule's not accurate. You know, their goal of being in business is to perform and make money and work on, and if you don't have an accurate schedule, they don't do that. And then we also, we pay our subs, you know, we're not holding out 90 days for payment. We pay our subs, and so again, we have a good working relationship with our subs.
And we're usually making calls to these specialty subs
It's
to let them know that the project is coming up, so that they make sure they keep space in their schedules. So we get some preference kind of that way as well.
Well, in my years of commercial residential schools, all the way down to single-family homes, that's what I retired from. I hear what you guys are talking about, and I understand the challenges that have happened in the last 4 or 5 years with the COVID bump and the procurement of materials and, you know, the labor issues and all that kind of stuff. It was a pretty good bump to go through, you know, and you guys are still there, and I decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. But, you know, having said that, if you've got a subcontractor, and I specifically use certain ones because I got to that point of saying, I'm gonna wait for him because I know where I'm at with this guy and so forth and so on. That's huge. That's huge, because, you know, if you can just pick up the phone and call somebody and you've got that kind of relationship with them, then they won't make you look bad, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Because they have the ability to do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of all the projects that you guys have outlined for us, have they all finished on time in budget?
Yep, they have.
Because we're pretty sensitive to the budget, so.
Yeah, no, the Sharon Courthouse project finished on time. That was a bid project, so we weren't really involved in budgeting, but yeah, we started that in April and we finished in October, and it was a little over $3 million project. So,
And key to staying in budget is making sure that the design doesn't have a bunch of bumps in it that you get change orders during construction. And so this is unique because we have the design and construction team working on this together, so we can kind of mitigate that before it even gets out on the street and bid, so.
That's what I wanted to talk about, is that how many projects have you guys done? It seems like a lot of Seymour type projects. How many design build projects have you guys?
oh,
The banks,
Yeah. I'd say at least 5.
Yeah.
The CMAR and design build are very similar in a way, just, you know, how they're hired on early with the design firm to work through budgets and schedules. The only kind of, you know, difference would be bidding out packages.
Right.
But, which we would still kind of do here is to get more, competition from subs to make sure we get that budget, but,
So one of my favorite sayings for anybody in the construction business or getting into it or out of it or whatever is that all the easy projects are done. Like there's no such thing as an easy project anymore. And so this project for us looks like we're gonna be, I would like us to be more fluid than whatever. With the interior renovation, we had a lot of stuff figured out, but a lot of stuff changed. And it was, And that allowed us to do not just this was the original scope where we're sitting down here, the first floor or the ground floor, whatever you call it. But we moved up 2 or 3 floors and got a lot of other stuff done because we were able to kind of move this around and maybe we can save this. Value engineering is what you guys call it, but in any case, it's a dynamic process for us. In the same way you guys are talking between the architect and the construction crew, I expect our conversations to be almost very similar to that. Is that we need a firm that we can work through. This is a problem that came up today. How do we want to address it? It is not in the original scope. We did not foresee it. How do we address it? And so I foresee a lot of that happening with this project. And it's the exterior building, not as sensitive as the interior, but we're still gonna have a lot of that. So I see this project going a lot like, we found this, what do? We can address it in this timeline. And so we're gonna be working with the architect and the construction crew going, how do we overcome this obstacle? And I need it to be halfway fluid. You guys foresee that being an issue, not having everything set in stone. The day we start the project, nothing changes after that. I don't think this project can work like that.
No, and you know, that's always been a challenge, but also that's kind of the challenge I like is we're problem solvers.
Yeah.
Because if you're closed-minded about that and think that there's not gonna be, I mean, you're not
Been in
living in
business.
reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially on an existing building where, I mean, you're
Yes.
gonna find the skeletons.
That's exactly right.
You know,
That's
Yeah,
exactly
It's
right.
bound to happen. We haven't found any yet on Old Stony, but we're just getting going.
Right.
You know, and it was on the Sheridan County Courthouse, the jail part, you know, they had the same, again, gutter system and whatever, which in the original scope, it was just take that off, replace it. Well, when we tore into it, all of the truss tails, I'm not sure how the gutter was even hanging on there, because all of the truss tails were rotted out, and, you know, we went back 2 feet and we basically scabbed on and we were able to extend that out, but, I mean, if they just said no changes, I mean, we'd have been attaching it back on to virtually nothing. So, yeah, you find it, you're honest about it, you bring it to the attention, and then we work with Lyle and his team to come up with solutions for that.
And the great thing about having these guys on board with me up front is that we can do investigative stuff. We can have them come in and take out a little piece of this or that, and let's check it out before we even get to construction.
How much of a turnaround is it between the time you guys find there's no truss tails and new truss tails put in there, scabbed on?
Well, in that instance, I mean, we basically made the recommendation, you know, we don't just punt and say, hey, Lyle, we got an issue here, come up with a solution. It's like, we're kind of presenting a solution,
Yes.
to them first, and then, you know, if it's structural, obviously he has to run it by his team.
Here's a recommendation, and then we review that recommendation, we run it by the owner, make sure we're all on board, and then we say, okay, let's get moving.
Use bigger spikes.
Yeah.
Me-
Yeah,
Something like
It
that.
helps
Yes.
to have an open communication line, so everyone's involved.
That's gonna be something that we're gonna deal with every day.
Yeah.
And it probably won't be with us. I'm not sure who it will be, but in any case.
And we kind of insist on having the owner's involvement in the
Yeah.
project. Those bi-weekly meetings or however often we decide to have them, like whether you guys assign somebody or whatever it is, but we really need your input as we go. you know.
Yeah, there's always something to consider. We just do this. And I don't care if it's 5 years old, because it might not have been done right the first time. You know, and then you open something up and say, well, I can't do that because what I couldn't see wasn't done right the first time, and we can't run with that going forward. And that happens all the time.
so I'm not a very good house flipper. I spend too much money to do it right with my
Yeah.
kids than to cover it up like some people do.
Yeah.
But,
What color is this?
red,
Red?
orange,
Orange.
red,
Orange.
reddish orange.
Burn orange.
Or orange? Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I just said that's some shade of red. You have to have a little bit more, I can tell the difference in colors when you're matching brick. Do you guys do that, or do you have somebody else do that?
we're doing that, yeah.
Okay.
do that.
We've done that a lot.
Yeah.
To find a brick match is pretty hard, especially on a 100-year-old
Yes.
building. But we did, as I mentioned, had to do with that on the Blacktooth Brewery, and we had to search, I mean, again, you're not gonna find it locally or even down in Denver. We had to expand the search out wider to get that done. Some terracotta we replaced on that fire station in Casper. We had to go all the way to the East Coast to get a manufacturer that's making that, so we'll search locally, but it's probably just not gonna happen. Sometimes we just have to go for
On the same pile of rocks they brought these out of.
I think the supplier of these bricks is no longer.
Yeah, that's so.
Right, yeah.
Because it was Goodrich.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Goodrich.
Oh, What other questions you guys have?
So what's a bi-weekly meeting look like? Who's sitting there on your side?
So myself, the project manager, our on-site superintendent, and then,
Okay.
Lyle.
me, and then whichever of my design team needs to be involved. Sometimes they're zooming in or teamsing in because they don't need to be there for everything, but we have a little agenda, we go through certain specific things, and then the challenges of the project, there's always questions to be answered or items to be discussed.
How does billing work? How do you foresee billing work?
So we would submit a schedule of values to you guys that would have those disciplines all broke down. And then, we basically submit a pay application, on Old Stony as lot, do you submit to, yeah?
Yep, we submit to Lyle to just check the accuracy and make sure that what we're billing is actually completed. And then he will review that and then forward his recommendation to the owner. And then we usually expect, 30 days for payment.
Retainage and stuff like that?
Yep,
We do
retainage,
retainage.
5% retainage in the state statute.
What's-
Yeah, and again, even with that, like, when you're talking about subcontractors, I mean, we make sure that we have subcontractors on board that one can handle that. Cause there are some, I think maybe drywallers and painters are kind of the worst, like, they have no money in the bank, and so, like, the day that they're done, they're submitting an invoice.
That's right.
And those are some smaller ones that we typically carry, but, you wanna be aligned with subcontractors that can, if a pay app is held up for whatever reason, that they're not broke at the end of 30 days just asking for a
You
check.
guys think sheetrock and paint is quick? He hasn't dealt with welders very much.
Right.
They're walking off the job going, here you go. They'll wait for you to sign the check.
Right.
But,
So yeah, just being aligned with companies that are used to this and they're used to the retainage and not just screaming at you for a check. But again, I mean, it's important to pay on time, and when we get paid, we pay ourselves.
the other question on that I've got is, in your previous projects, where is the money loaded at? Is it front loaded? Is there a lot more money up front, or is it back loaded? Or typically on these types of projects, where does all the money come from? On our side, we've got money coming in from a sales tax initiative that we're storing up and putting in the bank, but the question for us is that we would like not to bond or, something like that. And so I'm kind of curious, in your previous projects, where has the money been, where's the money pretty heavy?
It kind of, it's like on a curve, it starts out smaller, and then once you're in full construction, you're probably, getting to the max of it,
20%.
and then when you start finishing things, the draw comes down. So on your project, if we started in, April, May, hopefully a fall completion, by the summertime, you have to
We're spending money.
spend money.
Yep.
And then the fall will probably slow down.
And then your guys, is there any warranty on the work that you guys have?
Oh, yeah, we, you typically is a 1 year warranty, but then, your roof replacement, the manufacturer will have a 30-year, warranty on it.
And that's typical, 1 year is typical for exterior work, not 5 or 10 or.
Some of the materials carry a longer, you know, like any metals, like with
Yes.
a Kynar finish or something like that. Materials will carry a longer, finish, but as far as the workmanship, the labor part of it is typically a year.
And if you have a material failure, that just covers the material and the labor is the labor.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we fight with them, you know, on that, I mean, but yeah, that's.
But you're not into buying bad materials because you know what that's gonna cost you.
Right, for sure,
That's where Lyle would come in, I mean, his team would specify, material that, we won't have that issue with.
Yeah, I don't mean bad, I mean, you know, some standard or whatever.
Yeah.
House flipper material,
Yeah.
house flipper material. Yeah, and so we'd have some list or whatever, and this is going into how you guys handle punch lists and everything after that. So how long does it take you guys to get a punch list done typically?
Our goal is usually 7 days.
Okay.
We like to do a pre-punch before Lyle or you guys walk it to make sure that from our standard, it looks pretty good, according to the specs and plans. And then we have Lyle's team come do their punch list. And then from there, we should only have 7 days, because there shouldn't be a lot on that.
And generally, I won't let it go past 30 days, but I won't release the retainage until the punch list is done. So it's really your guarantee that they're gonna get done because they're motivated, because they want that 5%.
That's right.
we actually just modified our, subcontract, with our subcontractors because they were extending that out, and so we made that a part, with kind of some damages on our side, if they don't get that back, because, you know, they get down to the end, they're onto the next job, and it just gets strung out, and then ultimately, the subs are the ones that kind of get hurt in the end, because your guy who was here 5 months ago that's been done, you know, his retainage is being held up because the HVAC contractor doesn't have a grill, you know, put in or something like that, so anyways.
Part of the game.
It's a struggle, but just having that superintendent, be there and, again, with some weight on our subcontract, trying to mitigate that.
And then similar to the punch list, any warranty item, we have a list, and we'd call you guys, and then you guys would handle it from there, or what more involved do we need to be on warranty items?
No, if you guys will let us know what the issue is, we would be here, and if it was part of the subcontractor warranty, they would be here as well, and get it fixed right away.
Okay.
And then we typically do an 11-month, like, warranty walkthrough. But if there's something, you know, we don't want you to wait till 11 months, with a list, like, if it's something, you know, piece of gutter's flying off or something, you know, we wanna know about it and come fix so that it doesn't create more damage down the roads.
What happens if a fire hose gets knocked out? You know? Not a serious question, it has happened to us before. It has, 6 or 8 inches of water or more in a watertight building,
Sprinkler system went off.
sprinkler system.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've had,
Yes, I'm sure.
we've had stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure.
You carry liability insurance, but you'd rather not use it.
Right, yeah, for sure.
This project seems like something that's in your wheelhouse.
yeah, that's, again, a lot of our experience, especially recently.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and just, again, just stressing the occupied buildings, it's huge, you know, I mean, we've done a lot of school construction, new construction, you know, that's pretty easy, you don't have to worry about that, it's a fenced off area, but, when you're working, especially in the downtown area, tight quarters, things like that, overhead work, just going the extra mile to make sure that things are protected and safe, is important.
Well, and with all the systems that are operating in this building every day, they have to stay operating.
Yeah,
And on our brand new landscaping.
yeah, I was saying, it looks pretty
Aerial,
nice.
aerial lifts can reach a long ways now, yeah.
We're doing
Yes,
that
they
at
can.
Old Stony. We put in the landscaping on phase 1, and now we're having to deal with tuck pointing over the top of it.
A lot of plywood, I'm sure.
And protecting entries, make sure the public is safe coming and going from the building while you're scaffolding.
I don't know if we can get much worse. I mean, we already have bricks that wanna fall off on people's head anyway, so.
When we started the phase one of this project, we were gonna be occupied. And like Ian said, we were able to expand the project up through the upper floors, and at that time, we decided we're gonna move everybody out. So
Good decision.
Jake's project that he did, was expanding, adding a courtroom.
Yeah, we had a demo courtroom, so the whole second floor of the Campbell County Courthouse, we had to do it in phases. And they had, district court and circuit courts going on, so a lot of our work was at night and on weekends, to make that, but, we'd have to finish one area, and the owner would move into that area, we'd go demo the next area, finish that area, and the owner would move in.
How much do you think it added to the project?
Cost wise, I don't think it really added a lot. There's a little more general conditions because
Yeah.
it extended the schedule.
Mhm.
But when we first sent out bids, when we told subs that, night work and weekend work, we thought we were gonna get a big pushback on that. But we actually didn't. So,
They were hungry enough.
Well, it was
Yeah.
easy, it was easier than the pushback from the judges we were disrupting during the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't take too kindly to,
no hammer drill operation.
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
You are found. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
and it was a lot of jackhammer because they had the existing jails there. We had a demo, all locked CMU full. So it was a nice project.
We're familiar.
Yeah.
yeah, we got a just existing jail right across the hallway.
With cells from the territorial prison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were removed in chunks that big with everything that could touch and grind or
Yeah.
cut steel.
They brought them in, I think, set them up, and then poured the concrete in the bottom of them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were apparently, we had some vagrants that they didn't want to get out.
It's the Wild West. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, very good, thank you, that's all. I
Okay,
have.
well, thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for running our slideshow for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Joe.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did he get jump check? He did.
Yep, I got it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
It's like it's been a storm.
I know. I'm conflicted.
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah, I need to have dry roads for like 2 more days. But I'll take it, I suppose.
Hoping we actually get some snow this year.
I know,
We're not
I'm
gonna-
also conflicted, but I was serious. I will eat an extra donut or two if I've got to shovel snow. It won't bother me.
Went to Glendale, oh my goodness, 4 weeks ago, and it's so low.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen it that low. before.
Yeah, it's not good. We've been working up on Wheaton too, and like around there, and we built like half a mile of fence, new fence this year, just water's disappeared in the last 3 weeks. Holy shit, it's not good. But who knows, can't change it, so you just kind of do whatever.
We haven't had a snowmageddon in about 4 years, so about that time.
Watch it. You know, a lot of people that are new around here don't know how to, I mean, everybody who's moved here the last 4 years doesn't know how to drive around in the snow. Could be bad.
Once you get that much snow, nobody's driving around anyways.
That's right. I like snow.
What'd you find out?
About typical, about 10 to 11. That's great.
I still say the key to any of these guys' success is their subcontractors.
It's the only thing that's actually doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the key right there. That's the key that makes the car go.
I know, I'm kind of curious to see what kind of masons they bring in, because that's a dying industry, you know?
Well, it is.
I don't know anybody who can set a cornerstone anymore.
Well, them people are all under cornerstones by now.
Some in the middle of the project, who knows? He's good, I'm surprised.
With a lot of experience.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very nice, you know?
$5 design fees.
Yeah, that's, I always remember, I kind of think it's like 9 to 10, 9 to 11 is pretty typical.
Yeah.
Usually the engineering stuff is like, we used to say 10% of the project from ground up is engineering stuff,
What is it?
you know, so that, I don't know.
My mom would make things like that, that we call scrunchies.
Yeah,
It's 5.
And they
Yeah.
would do that real
I don't know,
plastic.
I think that
scrunchy
sounds,
stuff, yeah.
I usually, like,
used to
rule of
have-
thumb for me is if you're,
I was overwhelmed
everything that's not
when she was
construction should
alive.
probably be under 10% or
And
10 or
then
11%, something like that. But that's.
Yes.
Hey.
Morning.
Ian, long time.
I know.
Seen you.
How's that coffee sitting?
It was pretty good, pretty
It
good.
is good.
Good to see you.
Yep,
Good to see you again.
My pleasure.
Hi.
Hey, Rick.
Hey,
Steve, Sean.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Jeff.
Slade Mold.
Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you.
Oh, my goodness.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How'd I have to bother?
Todd, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Jeff Baker, nice
Todd.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
How you doing? It's Todd.
Jeff Baker.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
I gotta shake your hand.
What was your name?
Thumb drive, flash drive,
Yeah.
That's pretty safe. That's pretty safe.
Hopefully.
Oh, I should probably steal that one from you.
Is it okay if I sit in front of you?
How have you been? Good.
Hopefully you give us one more by chance.
I don't know, I've yet to have anybody tell me I'm doing anything not awesome.
Sure.
You know, you do, everybody had issues though.
Maybe.
You know, if it was a wreck with just one person, that's one thing. Everybody has issues. Like, we steal the keyboard, I can't win that game.
Wireless.
Got a little placemat for you with some key items on there, our faces.
Of course.
These are on
Grass
there.
hay. Everything comes in this grass hay with us. And so we got some sitting on the ground right now, but it's kind of tough to buy one right now.
How many years ago was that? You don't look like that.
The
whole thing goes blank.
Work out there and I've been trying to let him retire for like the last 7 years. I hope he doesn't. You know, I like quite a bit, yeah. We were out there, just about a half mile fence out to it. I'm like,
Sure, balls will let you
You gotta go to the village on that side, but it's, if you're going to Lucy, Lucy's on, Fred and Mickey's is on that side. We call it Lucy, but Maggie, Randy's father and mother-in-law. They own the south side, or east side of the number 2, more or less.
Is it labeled as-
Yep.
On the west side, from not all the south side, right?
No, the south side, actually, yeah, pretty much. It goes, they have the river south, and then we start the lake basically that way.
Brown.
Oh, yeah,
You just can't work my mouth.
No words. Open on the north. And that's the only-
number 2, yeah. We go, it goes the
I can figure out how to
Dodge,
board.
so you see, the Dodge Ridge is part of the lake, and it's like 2 miles or something like that of the lake. And then
Thank you so much.
Fred and Mickey are the rest of the lake to the
Get all
mountain
set up,
river,
Logan?
and then they've got.
I think so.
the kite
I'm not an
and
IT
the
guy,
highlights.
we'll tell you that.
I mean,
Yeah, they just.
I'm not sure I can help with that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, they still are.
They used a clicker, didn't they?
Yeah, still are.
Dangerous.
Power might go right to his head. You gotta watch
It
out.
used to be, yeah.
Power might go right to his head, you gotta watch out.
And that's it.
It's just like whatever, right
Here's fine, yeah.
There's now on the other side though, so.
Front row, man.
If you'd like to back row, that's fine.
Yeah, they're miserable. I got.
Where would you go?
Around here, there's a lot of really big groups this year. So,
You ready, Jim?
Nope.
sorry.
Better get ready.
That's right.
Okay, good morning, guys.
Morning.
What do you have for us today?
What do we have for you?
Yeah.
We don't have any corn or peaches or anything, right?
Nothing good.
Nothing here at the farmer's market, so.
We should schedule our meetings around farmers markets.
Anyhow, yeah, the Samson BBH team is ready when you guys are, so,
We're ready.
all right. Some of us may stand up, some of us may sit down, so I'm gonna stay sitting down for right now. You just kicked off if that's okay. Thank you for this opportunity to come to you today to present our team and our plan for the restoration and re-roof of your courthouse here. This is a very exciting project, and man, we are very pleased to be here. You know part of our team from our previous work here on the interior, but we're excited to introduce BBH, our design partner, with you, and we hope that by the end of today, you'll be as excited as we are to have them on our team. This slide gives you a preview of some of the items that we're going to be talking about today. And as always, please interrupt us with any questions or comments you might have along the way. We found out that these are a lot easier, a lot more successful if it's not just us talking all the time. If we can make it as interactive as possible, that's great for us. With that being said, I'll introduce myself and then let our team members introduce them. I'm Rick Fleming. I'm the project executive for our design build team here. I've been in construction a long time, have been blessed to have been part of a lot of different projects, but I really, really enjoy projects like this that make a difference to the end users in the community. My role is just to make sure that our team has the resources they need to keep things moving smoothly, and if there are any issues that come up along the way, then I'm always here to help with that. Todd?
Todd Afflerbach, BBH Architecture. I'll be the project manager, and kind of working really closely with the Samson team and with Rick, and making sure Jen, our project architect, has the tools she needs, and working alongside with her to make sure that we kind of solve the problems that come up during design and as we investigate the building and work alongside with you all as well. About 20 years of experience, mostly in renovations and historic preservation, so lots of rework, repair projects in my past, and really looking forward to this one, so thank you for the opportunity today.
Hi, morning guys, my name's Logan Ridgway, those of you that weren't quite aware of that one. I'll be leading the pre-construction effort for the project, but I'll stick around through the construction phase to assist our on-site team as kind of a senior project manager. I'll lead a lot of the dialogue between the design team, ourselves, and you guys as we kind of hone in on the scope through the design process. But I'll remain involved again as Slade and Jim kind of get boots on the ground and get things rolling here at the courthouse. I'll stay engaged as that senior project manager.
I'm Jim McCauley, no further introductions needed. I'll be in charge of logistics, safety, and quality control.
Slade Molt, project manager for Sampson Construction. I will be leading OAC meetings weekly, managing communication throughout the duration of the construction project. I'll be involved and oversee the project closeout and warranty phases. I'll work closely with Jim and you all throughout the course of construction. I've heard a lot about phase one from Jim and Logan, and I'm just excited to get to know all of you. So.
And I'm Jennifer Davis with BBH Architecture. My role is project architect, so working with everybody here and y'all to make sure we're aligned with project goals, and then that our documentation and the way that we approach the project all matches up. And so I like to be involved from the start to the finish and through CA to solve problems as they arise.
So as we've kind of alluded to in the introductions, our team's roots in this community run pretty deep. And every project we take on here is a little extra special. Having completed the first phase of the renovation, we're kind of uniquely positioned and uniquely committed to making the second phase and seeing the second phase through. This courthouse is obviously a vital hub for all of the Platte County residents. Completing this project ensures, essential services remain accessible, preserving the kind of familiar face of the courthouse that everybody in this community has kind of come to know. So a little bit about our team and kind of why we selected the team you see in front of you. Sampson and BVH are really a natural fit based on kind of the values that guide our work. We bring some of the proven delivery and some trusted local relationships in the area, while the BVH team adds design excellence, extensive experience in complex projects, historical renovations. But really our values align around transparency, communication, and collaboration, and that's three things we really saw help phase one be successful, and we think are very important to seeing through with phase two. It really gives you a seamless process from start to finish, and really, we deliver, one team, one contract, really one shared commitment to making sure the project's successful. And this really isn't just talk. Our partnership has proven. We didn't meet each other at the coffee shop this morning. Over the past 30 years, our teams have collaborated on over 80 projects, delivering complex historical renovations to diverse clients across the region, public institutions, private organizations. We really have grown together to our ability to adapt, collaborate, and really achieve results across a wide range of project types.
Yeah, and just again, those numbers really help underscore partnerships, and parts that our firm really values is partnerships with great people and great communities. So your teams work together in the first phase and build a great trusting relationship. So just wanted to give you a little bit of highlights what BBH does, who we are, since we're a little bit new to the table here for you all. Architecture firm, we do all phases of work, but some of the items listed here, from planning to programming to community engagement, sustainable design, and of course historic preservation. It's part of our DNA. It's who we are. We've been at it for 57 years. If you go to the next slide there, Rick.
Good.
57 years of historic preservation, and over 500 projects that were on the National Register for Historic Places. 2,000 projects plus historic commissions. So a lot of depth of experience across the country and locally. Our in general, we'll talk about it in a bit here, but the Lincoln Capitol building in Nebraska has been a long, great partnership with Sampson, the St. Louis Arch, the Cooper Hewitt Museum, and part of the Smithsonian. So large scale and smaller scale historic preservation projects throughout the country.
One of the projects that you've seen highlighted in our RFQ is the Nebraska State Capitol, as Todd mentioned. So This has gone through multiple phases with Sampson. Our team has great kudos for the work Sampson does, and it's been a great partnership. So we've done everything from interior renovations to repairing the masonry and the gold dome on the top. So a lot of work and many years, many phases have gone into this with our team together.
Should just to highlight that, we spent 10 years together there and we still enjoy each other enough to like.
Show up.
We did reach out when this came out and say, hey, we still enjoy working with you guys after 10 years. We'd love to bring you to the table on another one. So it's a good sign.
Absolutely. Yeah, another courthouse just down the road here on 25, down in Pueblo, Colorado. This is a project that BVH did a historic assessment back in 2006. Similar vintage, similar era as this courthouse here. We had initially planned to do some renovations back then, but the 2008 recession kind of put some of those plans on the shelf. But we are re-engaging with Pueblo to revamp the historic assessment and planning some masonry repairs, planning some roof repairs, similar to the scope here, and then we're getting that started fairly soon here. So, again, it's interior, exterior work, having to, an occupied building that is going to have to maintain functions while we're doing some of the repairs, and a lot of intricate details that we have to work around.
What kind of business were they doing in Pueblo County? I mean, if it's the same vintage as this one, that's huge.
Yes.
Like, holy crap, 18 whatever. What kind of
yeah,
business were they doing?
This was a
1907, something like that.
1912 building, I think it was.
That's a huge building.
Yes.
It is.
Holy
It
cow.
dwarfs everything around it too, so it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, to answer your question, Ian, I don't know.
I think historic Pueblo has a lot of like train line money, but there's a lot of really intricate buildings like downtown Pueblo.
Yeah.
That was
You would
more
think.
state sized than county
Dude,
sized.
that's federal government
Maybe
size.
we're buying for the capital.
The last similar project we wanted to highlight today is the Laramie City Hall Annex building. We're just getting ready to start work on this one. We were awarded this job at CMGC at the beginning of the year, went all the way through the pre-construction. We spent 2 or 3 months inside and outside this building just doing a lot of investigation, poking holes above ceiling, through the floors. Yeah, because there aren't plans for buildings that are 100+ years old anymore. So you just kind of have to do a lot of research and chase down the details. So, but we brought this one in under budget. It got approved last month. So again, we're just getting ready to start work on this one next week. So we're going to switch gears now and get into some of the specifics about how we're going to handle your project. This slide shows in broad strokes the steps we're going to perform for your project. And I'm going to let our team talk in more detail about each one of these steps that we're going to do. Todd, I think you and Jen are up first.
Yeah. So obviously the first part of that assessment and having those owner discussions and getting to know this building, you all know this building inside and out. So we want to really engage with you to understand your vision. Obviously it's, going to be more focused on the building and preservation of the building, but you play a role in this building, and that desire to make it last another 100 years is a really substantial commitment in your part. And so we want to be involved in that. We want to keep the process simple for you all. But part of that initial assessment is just getting to know you and building that trust, so that when we're analyzing the building, analyzing the site, trying to figure out why there's the leak in the front, under the porch there, trying to understand from you so that we can kind of build that program and build that design and build those drawings to make the construction next summer, to make that go so much smoother. And the part I love about our relationship with Sampson in the past, but also the design build relationship, is that trusted peer collaboration during the design process.
Yeah.
So when there's those times that we say, hey, the drawing says this, the building looks like this, do you guys think you could go do some exploration, try to figure out what's going on, to help us kind of uncover those unknowns? Logan was sharing about the sewer system and the phase one process that was non-existent, so, trying to.
Wet sewer system.
Non-existent. So trying to uncover those stones early on to make the process smoother and help us, work together, problem solving, relying on their trusted experience of the building and just their construction know-how and to be able to kind of flesh out ideas, flesh out concepts to build into that program and maintain your vision and commitment for seeing this building for another 100 years.
So as we dive a little more into kind of the pre-construction approach that you guys are probably familiar with from phase one, but really, pre-construction is the heart of why design build and the delivery method you've chosen here really saves money and delivers the best value for you guys and the taxpayer. By bringing these teams together, and Todd alluded to a lot of this, we come together earlier than any other possible construction delivery method. We make every dollar count from the day we say go. We ensure that the project is efficient, is high quality, and it's built to serve the community, for the next 100 years without stretching any taxpayer resources beyond what's allotted for the project. So what does that actually mean? What does that actually involve? It's what Todd said, it's a lot of research and investigation on our part, but it's usually commonly thought as pricing and scope evaluation. And although those are important parts of the pre-construction process, the rubber hits the road when we get a little deeper than that. For this project, take our work engaging some specialized subcontractors for some of the restorative masonry, complex roof replacement, to uncommon and dissimilar roofing systems that you have now. We bring some of these people in early, ensure that their skills and the products really match the the project's unique needs. Avoid costly mistakes or questions or delays later. We also like to explore the options for materials and equipment during this pre-construction phase. Identify if anything has an outlandish lead time or is expecting an increase in price. We can know those things during this phase so it's not coming up during bidding or during construction. Constructability reviews, these are a little more formal in other delivery methods, but it's a constant communication between us and the BBH team about, hey, we're thinking about this product and keep in mind, Wheelin's really windy and maybe we look at, product A, B, or C, something different, and all that stuff is fleshed out during this pre-construction process. We also use this stage to really get Jim and Slade here involved, to carefully plan some site logistics. We want to keep things efficient, but we also understand that this is an active facility. We want to minimize disruptions. We want to, most importantly, keep all users and visitors of this facility safe. But at the end of the day, all these pre-construction efforts come together for one big goal, and that's making sure that the project's ambitions and your vision for it match the budget that you have allocated to do the work. We want to complete a top-notch functional facility for the public, but we want to line up with the allotted funding, and we can tackle these challenges early. We keep costs in check, we communicate well between all of us as a team. We can deliver, the maximum value, meeting the community's needs without breaking the bank.
Okay, thanks, Logan. We have now covered pre-construction and the design phases, getting ready to jump into the construction process. I want to stop real quick, see if there's any questions over anything we've covered so far. Okay, cool. If not, just wanted to highlight. Yeah, I paused a long time there, didn't I?
Yeah.
So, seriously, again, raise your hand or just interrupt us anytime you've got a question on something. This is our preliminary schedule that we put together, outlining some of the milestones for your project. Our goal and our plan is to do the design, the assessment, and the estimating and bidding during the winter months, so we're ready to hit the ground and start construction next spring. With that being said, Slade, I'm gonna turn it over to you to talk about our construction process.
Okay, thanks, Rick. First of all, we'll take the milestone dates that Rick had mentioned previously and we'll break them down a lot further. We'll get subcontractor buy-in, make sure that the schedule's bought in for everybody and it aligns with your guys' goals. From there, we'll keep everybody informed of progress on the project. And we'll do that through weekly OAC meetings, on-site walkthroughs. I know that Jim and Logan mentioned that you guys were pretty involved on phase one and wanted to walk the project, weekly, sometimes several times a week. So we'd like to continue that process of progressive problem solving and collaboration between all of us, and just enforce that that effective communication between everybody, and bring that into the next phase. I'll dive more into the technology that we use to accomplish that here in a minute. But for now, I'll turn it over to Jim so you can talk more about safety and how we ensure quality of the project.
Well, I've, hate to say this, but I've been in this business now 50 years. I've been through industrial, commercial, and residential. I don't like sloppy craftsmanship, and I won't put up with it. I also keep a clean job because it helps everybody out, and you won't see any major mishaps on this job. As far as safety, Stampton has a really good safety program. We hardly ever have anybody hurt, but we'll have, there'll be full hard hats, high visibility, there'll be fall protection, and hard-toed boots. We'll have to bring forklifts in on the grass out in front, unfortunately, for logistics. But on your emergency management, we'll have to scaffold that roof to get to that. As far as the two main entrances that you've got, prisoner entrance and main entrance on the west side, we'll hard lid those so they'll never be shut down. The only time we'll have to is when we go to work on the front porch and try to clean that concrete up out there.
Okay. Well, as you can see, we've already began planning on how we can keep your facility operational day to day, keep the public safe throughout construction, and just minimize the impact on your facilities, keep everybody, safe throughout the course of construction, because safety ultimately is at the forefront of everything we do, and we take that in consideration every day. And to do that, we'll stay in constant communication with you all on the activities that we're doing, and make sure that it fits and aligns with what you guys are doing here in the courthouse. One of the ways that we ensure effective collaboration, documentation, and communication throughout the course of construction and beyond is through FieldWire. So we'll take photos, we'll update the drawings on this application. We can add you all to this application. You can see, the latest progress on site. We update RFI submittals on this program. And this is really of great use, and it's a great resource to you all in the future as well for as-built documentation. It happens live, it's accurate, and we're actually using the information that we gathered during the first phase to get a jump start on this next phase already. We have access to all that information still.
So is this similar with you or showing us the last round?
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
very similar.
It's expanded a little more in capability since we started that one, but still a lot of the information that we've saved from phase one, we looked at this morning, and some certain situations that came up during phase one that we can reuse.
That's why you guys rehearse, and we are very good at finding unfound problems. We don't dig around until we find the hole. Yeah. Exactly. We'll also use FieldWire for closeout and warranty phase as well. It allows us to create tasks, assign them to specific individuals. I can run reports, distribute that to those people, warranty items, anything as they come up. It ensures that leaves no stone unturned and there's not any loose ends left to tie up at the end. So all your subs are on this also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that something that's pretty common for them, or is this something that's new for most of the subs you guys usually
We've had
use?
really good buy-in on all of our projects over the last 4 or 5 years.
It's advanced a lot in the last 5 years, but.
Yeah.
we've seen
And I
a lot
can
of
use it,
people-
so it's pretty
That-
easy.
I wasn't asking that, I wasn't gonna
User-friendly.
ask that, Jim, but I was thinking
That was the
about
roundabout way.
Well, it's great for us as well, because we can get into
Yes.
it, see site photos,
Yeah.
see the issues that are going on, so, whether it's field wire or any other program, it's great, a great collaboration tool as well.
Exactly. Not to try to volunteer Jim for anything, but the fact that he lives right down the street will help us during punch lists and work phase, make sure everything gets addressed right away, so.
Okay, thanks, Slade. Any questions? I'm gonna ask again at this point. I'll pause a little bit longer. Okay. If not, I'd like us to transition to the Q&A phase and then save just a couple of minutes at the end for us to wrap up, if that's okay with you. All right, who's first?
I wanna know about you guys' subs. Biggest part of this, about this project is the brickwork, and so I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked the other guys. What color's the book?
Red,
What-
orange.
Yeah, this book. What color is this book?
It's off red.
How about you guys?
Say red, orange.
Red, orange?
Red, orange.
Okay. I can't tell if that's red or orange. I'm not the one that's gonna be matching the brick. So, you have somebody in mind.
Yeah, I would say it starts with us in
Yeah.
terms of trying to find the right color match. Jen and I often have samples, you know, in our office right now, there's probably 15 different CMU samples to try to get it the right mix and right match to some existing things. And so it's first starts with our study and literally bringing samples to site, not just looking at it in the office, but bringing it to site and holding it up, and then making sure that that right product is specified so that the installer and is doing it right and sourcing it right.
How tough is this brick to find or to whatever?
They don't make it anymore.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and I think it does come down to the subs in terms of the repair work. You know, a lot of the masonry is probably still okay to some degree.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
it's the mortar joints that's often the failure where the water gets in, and so if there's areas that we can, you know, I know with the last edition that was done, you know, you can try to take some brick from here and move it over there to try to salvage what's there. I'm not sure if we'll have that opportunity here, but there's there's the masonry repair groups that we've worked with in the past. I'm sure Samson's worked with crews as well, great crews around here. They're artisans, right? They're it's just as much an artistry as to get it to look right.
And we've talked with several specialized, restoration-based masons in advance, one of which actually was at the meeting.
Okay.
At the pre-proposal walk, we had some good talks with him and a couple other kind of regional, specifically restoration-based masons. There's a line you kind of cross there where, new masonry type work is a little bit different than what you're trying to do here.
Yes.
And that's something that we'll dive into as part of the investigation is what level of complexity do we need to get to, because there's a cost component to that too, obviously. So
Was he sweating or was he comfortable?
all three that I've talked to, said this is not uncommon.
There you go.
And actually, the guy that walked this said, I'm amazed at how good a shape this building is in for being, more or less untouched for 100.
It gets sandblasted,
7 years.
blasted every winter. You know?
That's why some of the mortar's gone, but the brick looks good.
Very good.
And a lot of times, that vetting process starts early on, right? And then we get in towards construction, we start off with submittals, we can do samples, mock-ups, and that investigation, analyzing what's here and just making sure that it matches as close as we get.
And I can't remember how many brick samples we went through on phase one, but
For that chase around that elevator up there to try to get something to
Yep, and
correspond.
I think we finally brought the supplier up and said, we can, take a few of these, we'll ship them back to you, let's see if we can find something to match, and we went through, I don't know, half a dozen probably until we found one. We didn't let Ian pick, but we reviewed this.
I know, I'm like, that's off-white. It's very good. Yes.
It's all off-white.
It's all off-white.
And it might sound like an obvious, but the mortar mix is also a key component too in terms
Sure.
of the color, because that little bit of contrast can really you don't realize it, but can really jump out if it's done incorrectly, or if it can really blend in.
So how do you do it correctly?
Samples
Samples?
and working with the mason and getting the right color mixtures. It's pretty standard gray here, but
And wet it's this color and dry it's this color.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah,
And that's why, like Slade said, we're gonna build mock-ups before we ever even start work to make sure we have the right product selected. We may narrow it down to 2 or 3 brick samples and mortar samples at the same time. And, you know, we'll lay it up, let it dry and look at it, put it right in the sun and in the shade so that everybody gets a chance to look at it and make sure we're making the right decision.
So Jim won't have to take 15 different stains and start mixing together and try to match something upstairs like he did.
It comes out brown. Give me that one.
That works a little better.
Yeah, it does.
That's good.
Oh, I got 3 drops of ebony and then I got so much of this walnut and oh, a little early American. Oh, now it's too damn dark.
that's right. It's artistry, yeah, for sure.
Saving the wood was hard. Imagine with these.
Yeah.
So what kind of mortar do you think goes into it? Is it a special or is it just regular mixed mortar? You know, without the color or whatever, what informs that decision on what type of mortar to use?
I mean, it's trying to find, I don't know, it sounds like a dumb answer, but it's pretty common material. I mean, it's just a cementitious material. So it's making sure that we're getting the right mix and the right specifications, which I don't have all those ASTM things memorized, but
I'm
yeah.
not asking.
Yeah, yeah,
Picking the right combination for the weather and
yes.
the site, and then, on a project that we're working on, we're going through each part of the mix and is it compatible with the existing mortar, so, you know, really relying on Stimson and some of the trade partners to get that mix right.
That's something, thank you.
When you
We'll make
say
sure it works
compatible,
with
you're
it.
talking about
Yeah.
bondability, where it can bond.
Bondability, and then, I know we're dealing with like the contents in the mortar, you know,
For
what was
shrinkage
in
and-
there 100 years ago versus what's now, so, and if they'll bond together, so. But I think the repairs, you know, outside look like something that, you know, masons do all the time, especially if they're historic, but, you know, not uncommon, and honestly, it's not as bad as some things that we've seen or dealt with where you have to, you know, re-support whole areas. I mean, we might get into that where we need to, but it looks doable and nothing that, you know, the historic masons can't do.
So, I'm taking a lot, if you guys have anything that, we're doing this project different than the last project. We started off the last project as a CMAR, and this one, we ended up going and transitioning what looked more like a design build. It was more input from us and more changes or whatever, more fluidity from you guys. And so I expect that went better than the first half of the first project. And so I would rather just skip the first half, but how does that look for you guys? What does the design build look like?
I think design build looks like what we did at the end of that one, where it's, except a little more of interaction from the BVH team. We want to make some of those decisions and have some of those conversations now,
Yes.
rather than kind of, you know, design on the fly a little bit, like,
Right.
you know.
Not in the heat of the moment.
Right. How do you address that? How would you address that differently in this project? Where would you go, or where would you spend more time, and where would you start asking more questions, and where would we have something locked in, or does anything ever get locked in to, 90% locked in probably, and then 10% is
Locked in from what perspective?
well, as far as like, if we're talking about design, the kickoff design, the construction documents and stuff like that. The middle of May looks like we've got to have everything on paper and scoped out and everything like that. How much wiggle room is there at that point? How much have we invested that we are not gonna get back if we wanna change something? But I don't foresee us changing that big of a thing. It's not like the interior, right? It's just the exterior, yeah.
The scope's drastically different here, and I think
Yes.
that's what we want to do. I think there's some conversations that we wished we had had at
Yes.
the tail end of phase one that should have happened early on, and I think the delivery method you've selected here sets us up for having those conversations now. We can do some of those
Yes.
investigations now. So we can prepare a set of documents that you're comfortable with, we're comfortable with. We've engaged enough specialty trade partners to, they're comfortable with what we're trying to do, where we can still get a competitive approach from a bidding perspective and know exactly where we're headed before, before Jim's sitting out in the parking lot, ready to go.
I agree, and I expect this project to be very informative and open discussion, as far as we worked really well with you guys last time. I expect that would be the same for this project, and I expect we're gonna have to have some input, but I think that's the way we need to go also. I don't have any issues with it. I don't foresee any issues happening from it because you guys were pretty responsive the first time around. But I expect that to be, I would expect this project to go much more like the second half of the last project.
And I think if every project we did was as collaborative and engaged and efficient as we were in the second half of phase one, we would all be doing great. Like that's what we love doing.
Yes.
Is keeping that open. Everybody's got the common goal. We know what that is, and we're all working towards it.
Yeah, and that means we're honest with you guys. We're open and upfront and honest with you guys, and I expect the same from you. Yeah.
And that's kind of why we turned to BVH specifically, because, we know your goal here. We talked about some of the exterior part of it during phase one.
Yes.
And we brought these guys to the table knowing that we need your expertise. And we felt that expertise was very important for what you're trying to do here. And again, you see the teaming aspect that we have as two individual organizations. Like, we felt that was really important. And we wanted to bring a team to you to kind of create that third piece of the puzzle here.
I was gonna say this a little bit later, but the core values between BVH and Sampson mesh almost identically. That's another reason why we selected them to come to this project with us. Not only because of their expertise in the historical preservation work, but just knowing, again, we've worked with them for 10 years over in Nebraska in the state capitol. We still like each other, we still get along, but.
You haven't divorced yet.
Yeah. No, we're big believers in being fully transparent, put it all out there on the table, talk about it. Let's come to a resolution, whatever that issue is. It may be a mountain, it may be a molehill. Get it out there so everybody's in 100% agreement.
I think if you laid a set of documents from where we started in phase one to where we ended, that was the result of a large number of conversations and sometimes documentation that followed later. But if we hadn't had that level of dialogue and that level of collaboration, I think
this would have been the scope of it, this room.
Right.
That's it.
It would have been significantly more challenging, right? Yes. And we've seen the value in that, you've seen the value in that, and that's what we want to do now.
So what does the budget look like for you guys? There, as far as our budget is what it is, that's the only part that I go, no, really easy to go, nope, can't change that. And so how does the budget align with the scope of work that we've asked for?
I'll spend all of it for you, don't worry.
That's what I'm thinking about, I'm just reassured. Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't actually put pencil to paper yet, Ian. I'm a little bit concerned myself, but knowing that we're very successful about, here's what we've got to spend, let's get the best bang for the buck out of this, okay? But develop that list of priorities, what has to happen, what do we absolutely have to get done, and make sure those are the number one priorities. Then you get into the priority number twos, and it's identifying the wants from the needs.
Right, no, I agree, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And I think, you've started that list of kind of, hey, here's biggest priority, here's next, through that, 4 or 5 things. And if we're gonna start working on the investigation and we'll find out exactly what this is gonna entail, and that's part of.
Yeah, unless the investigation brings something to light that we aren't aware of now, I don't anticipate there being too many issues, so.
But we're gonna know about them early, because we're gonna sit in a room and go through this stuff together and investigate together and reach out to people for budget information early. And so we're gonna be able to bring those things to the table throughout the winter here and say, okay, this is what we're gonna try to tackle, even if there's a few pieces at the end that we design and we bid as alternates and they sit, even if they end up being done later, whatever it may be, like unfortunately, the way that the industry and some of the funding models have been lately, we've gotten very creative with getting a lot done with limited funding.
Yeah, inflation's a.
And I think on the first phase, we were fortunate that we had some other funding sources that we really
Yeah.
didn't anticipate in the beginning, and I don't think that's the way this one's gonna work out. So
Yeah.
we got what we got, and that's what we got to use, so.
Yeah, fortunately, we bought all the desks in the first round.
Yeah. Understood.
Malcolm's pulled all the genies out of the hat that he can.
Yeah.
Unless there's another, COVID deal or something,
So,
because that's where the majority of that came
Yeah.
from.
You think 115 days is good enough to get all your I's dotted and T's crossed, to make you feel comfortable with the design documents?
I think so.
I am pretty frugal too. I don't spend money like that.
Oh, yeah, no, I know,
I
a
know
new
where
Ford
you came
has.
from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're in good company here, Jimmy.
I'll just add to that comment. I mean, a lot of times the reception architects, as they get in, they have their design ideas and want to spend too much. And Jen and I are we're humble people in terms of, we want to do what's best for the project. And we're smart about it, and we're going to be working right alongside Logan and Rick and Jim here and going, what can we do this? This is in our budget, so we're smart enough to know that it's more about the building and the project and nothing about our egos or anything like that. So.
Yeah, that's true. When did they start using constructability analysis? When did that become a term that everybody's showing around now?
I don't know when it became a formal term. I think that's something, if we're ever engaged early, we always are, we're looking at early sets and said, okay, we can afford this, or
Yeah.
we gotta toss that one. But
When I'm looking, like, it used to be called choking the architect.
Do that anymore.
We're well versed in that.
Yeah. Like, you can't build that? Like, son of a gun. No,
Yeah.
We'll come up with options where you don't wanna choke us.
No,
Where you're like, okay, that could
no.
work.
I have full faith that you guys seem like very nice people. I feel like we've gotten a handle on it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Just thought it was funny that I was laughing at myself, constructability. I was like, that's not what we called it.
Yeah, no, it's being on the project site, and that collaboration is so key. And for both Jen and I, we're learning just as much from every contractor we're working with,
Yeah.
because we know that they're the experts putting these materials together. Yeah, it's easy for us to draw it, but there's some artisanship in what Jim does all day long.
Yes.
And we so both appreciate and recognize that effort.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the State Historical Preservation Office approval and how that affects the project?
Again, I'm gonna let Todd speak to that. That's his bailiwick.
Yeah, so I think we've identified that as an option if you guys want to pursue that. From what our understanding is, the project is not federally funded, though it's nationally recognized. It's not a federally funded project, therefore you don't have to go through the State Historic Preservation Office. But that is, in full transparency, we would encourage that, just to show to the community that you are doing the things the right way and according to the historic guidelines. We're going to be following those historic guidelines and in our recommendations for the repairs that need to be made. So I think that's an option if you want to pursue that, great. If not, we're still going to follow the guidelines, but and maintain that standard of care for the building and for the project.
What does the $15,000 get you? There's a State Historical Preservation Office approval.
Yeah.
Estimate of $15,000. What does the $15,000 get you typically?
It's the additional documentation that's needed, the additional, for lack of better words, paperwork and communication, coordination, and kind of the ongoing processes with the state process.
Kind of like having a lead plaque at the end of the day.
Yes.
So basically, you're gonna do it whether we wanna go that way or not, but 15,000 just gets us the proof that you did do it.
Correct.
I think that we're gonna get calls either way if it's not what they expected in any case. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not that concerned about it, because I don't think we did that on the first project, and nobody was upset with how it turned out.
No, I agree.
I think our impact to the exterior of the building is even less invasive than it was in phase one as far as the addition goes. And we're really not making any dramatic changes, like most of the time we've got no SHPO involved in, federally funded type stuff. We're making some, major addition, removal, whatever, to something that's historic. And it's not.
It's expensive. It's an expensive Platte. Yeah. You guys seem confident enough, and not like we're gonna make any decisions, but I would, man, that $15,000 goes, I hate sending money to the state. Work. So,
Guys have already been through like a pay schedule, on the first one, so you kinda know where we're at. You know that we don't wanna bond, at this point, but we've gotta,
that's,
with it being tax money and that
That'll
kind of
save you
thing.
some money that you can put back into the building.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's still coming.
Yeah.
But where we're at.
You'll want bonds at GMP time from us, though, right? That's what we did in the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just not on the get-go. We start a pre-con design
Yeah.
contract,
Right.
we issue P&P bonds under it.
bonding on our end is, that's one thing that we would like to, we haven't gone over the cash flow of it in that big a detail, but we're kind of hoping that we can cash flow it and not have to go bond for $100,000 or whatever it is, we'd rather put that into 7 or 8 more bricks.
Right.
But in any case, where do you see the money going? Like, how is the money flowing during the project? Up front, heavy in the back, in the middle?
Heavy in the middle.
Heavy in the middle. I'd say that, the design and pre-construction part's gonna be now until April. And then, as we start getting materials on site, that's usually like the big chunk of money, right? Is the equipment, material, all that. And then,
Vendor service.
labor stays relatively stable, even through subcontractors and all that, until we really put a bow on it at the end. So, and if we get to GMP time and you guys want like kind of a monthly draw schedule or something in anticipation, we do that all the time.
Malcolm's not here. He would have more.
I can't remember if we did one for Malcolm on phase one or not, but I bet 50% of our negotiated projects all have some sort of anticipated draw schedule that we put together.
I don't think we did do one on,
Maybe we did.
not. Either way, it was what it was. It wouldn't have been right in the first place.
That's true. It would have changed a lot.
It would have changed a lot.
As did a few other things.
Yeah, if you'd have said the project's gonna be, what was it, $6 million, you'd go, I'm not doing it. That's what it was, so. Do you guys foresee any issues starting in May and ending in October? It's pretty much October now, we've been pretty lucky for next year. But for weather events,
For what we know now, I don't think so. I think that's a really good time frame to do it, and it fits into a good window of weather. There's an investigation component that I wanna leave as the asterisk here, just in case, but, for most of the guys we've talked to as far as the masonry stuff goes, is, we wanna avoid tenting and tempedes and all that stuff, cause it gets expensive, but that April through your good season, which is about now-ish, depending on the year.
Yeah.
Is certainly the goal.
I don't wanna be laying pavement when the snow's out.
That's never very fun.
No. Typically not. The warranty period on something like this, go over the warranty of whatever work is done.
Typically, I mean, for what you have here, we provide our usual 1-year warranty as part of our contract, and then, you'll have some specialty systems like your roofing assembly and that stuff that can be anywhere from 20 to 50 years, kind of depending on what you guys want us to specify in the bid documents. There's a wind component to that warranty, depending on kind of how you and your insurance want to balance that. It's something we gotta keep an eye on with the bid docs, because you don't want to be double covered, both by your manufacturer and your insurance company, because then they kind of point the fingers at each other and say, no, this is yours, and you're kind of stuck in it. But you guys get enough hail here that that's something to at least consider.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jim, do you fish? You fish? Do you fish catch and release, or you fish with a barb hook?
I fish with a barb hook, but I fish catch and release too.
How's, do you know how the fish feel yet? Catch and release, they keep bringing you back for these projects and letting you go.
After this one, you won't see me again. You'll retire, I promise.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said in the last one.
Full disclosure, I asked him first.
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Yeah,
One more time.
one more time, that's right. No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
We're catching on with your questions.
That's a great analogy.
I don't think we have any more questions. You said you had it.
I'll quickly wrap this up here. So, said it a minute ago, I want to say it again. We're collaborative with everything we do. We're fully transparent. We love to collaborate, communicate. We over-communicate if anything, you know. I found out a long time ago, put it out there on the table, talk about it. If you have a little issue and you think, well, I'm gonna get this resolved before next week's meeting, it's only gonna get worse. I found that out. So get it out there, talk about it. Everybody has better ideas. I mean, the more folks that are thinking about things, the more ideas we're gonna come up with. You guys have already noticed the fees that you asked for are on the handout we gave you. So if you have any questions over those, feel free to ask me or Logan. Either one will be happy to help answer those questions. And then lastly, again, the reason why we brought BVH to the table is because we align very, very well with our core values and our beliefs and our way that we like to approach work. So we've got a great group of folks dedicated here. Jim, I'm gonna include you in that too. They take a lot of pride in their work, they really do. I mean, you guys noticed that from Jim the first time around, but they don't make him like him anymore. But we would love nothing more than to be able to do this project for you and finish up what we started on phase 1. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Without a shotgun over here.
Yeah, second behind us. I was waiting for questions from the back row. No?
I haven't either.
I heard you had a real
Jim
one.
wants to know that
You
picture.
guys want to keep that?
Yeah, I wanted.
That's not
I'm just
me.
gonna copy it.
That's really not.
Okay.
This looks like Nebraska time.
Here you go, Logan.
After I got back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
You know, it might have been at Kelly Walker.
put back.
Do we have any more business to discuss?
So my question would just be, if you want to ruminate for a couple of weeks, compile all the information, or if, I guess your timeline on decision, I was gonna pull up the RFQ.
It's hard. That's a hard decision.
And so in your RFQ, the timeline you laid out was the contingent award would be October 7th. So that give you time
October 7th.
to consider, so your next meeting, October 7th.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think we probably need that much.
Timeline you laid out was October 7th, and then we'd start contract negotiations.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's plenty of time. It's 3 weeks. Oh, again, this is a 3-week month. You don't get those very often.
That was the only question I had, was if you wanted to stick to that, or?
Might as well.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think that we
good. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Ain't like we got anything else to do in the
No. No.
Looks like I'm pulling a well.
Looks like you're playing well.
Anything else from your meeting this morning?
Really worthwhile, really worthwhile.
Good.
But then you total up, it's $1,000 meeting
Yeah.
by the end of it. A lot of ground covered, and I do appreciate, the ability to use those folks for my sanity. So this Friday, I need to coordinate a few things, but then Candy will really do a lot. I mean, like 95% of the groundwork. And have a high-level idea of what people's impacts might be and what their requests would be by the 24th.
So are we gonna have a meet with each of them? She's gonna meet with each of those groups?
So this Friday, we'll hold a meeting for fire districts and for the county. Monday for the towns. And so they'll get a 10,000 foot view of what their impacts might be. I've already got a few that have come in, what their impacts might be, what would be justifiable. She'll take it to Rex. He's working on an MOU now with those who've reached out and said they're interested in joining an MOU. The hard part is, it's a 20-month construction period, and you're talking, on average, 253 people.
Yeah.
So your impact assistance really is designed to mitigate the service impact of those 253 people for those 20 months. So if you add a position, let's say a deputy or a dispatcher, impact assistance funding may cover the 20 months, but it's
Yes.
not to cover that position after that 20-month period, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So Candy's job is to meet with these folks, compile kind of a list of how they think they'll be impacted. Rex is working on the legalese of the MOU. She'll take them essentially an attachment. So between September 24th and November 3rd, we'll really fine tune those requests and justify them and make them defensible.
Well, I think Rex was crystal clear in that meeting in the 4-H building. You have to prove, and then you have to spend it on what you've proven that you need it for.
Yeah.
And some of the ideas I've heard so far, I don't know how much clearer we could have been, but apparently we could have. We could have been. So anyway, yes, Friday we'll have a special meeting just for fire districts. And I'm gonna get that out. I've gotta go check one person's availability and then get that out.
Will we need to be at these meetings?
No,
Okay.
can be, but
If I can, I will, but not knowing when you're scheduled, I'm not
I
sure.
don't think so.
Right.
I don't think it's necessary. I think the beauty in
Having
having Candy on board is
Candy.
she understands the government point of view.
I think she'll be invaluable.
Yes,
So thanks for giving me the budget to use her, because if it was me coordinating this,
no, I know.
You get enough on your plate.
I don't know how I do it,
You've gotta manage phase 2 of this thing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
How does that, we haven't even talked about that. How does that look? How does phase 2 of the courthouse project look, Malcolm? As far as the in between, or are we the between?
We're
you
the
know?
in between.
That's what, I didn't know, I was asking very politely what your interest was.
You know, it was this one will be less impact because we're not moving out. It's really fairly simple.
You're not picking colors.
Or outlet locations, or
Yes.
trying to future-proof a building, or I'm not ordering any furniture. You know, so for what it's worth, all the fixtures inside were me. So
Yes.
I'm not nobody's having to do that on this project. And so I think actually it can be managed pretty much at commissioner meetings,
Okay.
quite frankly.
It should be, it should be, yes.
And you're talking roof, some little stuff's gonna come up.
The roof is what doesn't bother me, but that's like the uncertainty for us, is how do you deal with the roof? There's gonna be a lot of decisions on how to deal
Who
with
puts
that.
a swimming pool on top of the building? That's what we have up there,
Yeah,
instead of a,
yeah. You know,
So,
that's the
anyway.
beautification committee.
And in that, this request for qualifications, we were crystal clear that the building will remain open.
Yes.
and
Now-
they touched on that.
Certain entrances may be inaccessible, that's fine. But the building has to be accessible throughout the project.
Well, and they'll hard lid 2 of them anyway.
Right.
Or at least
You know.
Samson's that they would.
Yeah, Sam's, that would be part of it.
Well, the other outfit, you know, I would say, you guys gotta hard lid this,
Yeah, absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
And if
That's
they said,
not
well, we
even-
didn't really figure that, well, I don't give a shit, do it anyway.
That's not even negotiable.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, it was a very positive meeting earlier. I think we've got
You're comfortable with how that's going?
yeah, my only concern is it's such a tight timeline and getting volunteer boards here on a Friday. And today's Tuesday, it's gonna be tough, but I think everybody has been excellent so far.
Town of Chugwater's not going off on their own, are they?
There's a phone call that has to be made. They'll be part of the MOU, yes.
Okay.
How we justify some of the expenses, that's a phone call Rex has to make. But
Right.
there's some nuance here. There's
That's why we have a lawyer on staff.
work.
So one other thing before we leave, I think we should talk about the planning and zoning position.
I agree.
'Cause it's more than,
No,
Yeah, you take
absolutely,
on.
yeah. And I've been pretty upfront about that.
So-
Stuff is falling through the cracks.
where are we at with interviews for one, or applicants?
So, and that's my fault. I need to get those 3 scheduled. And it's an excuse, but
Or do we want to contract it out for the short term, see how that works before we even hire someone?
so my thought is, for what it's worth, I think for the next Era project, I think contracting it out. I think it'd be a disservice to whoever you hire.
Oh, yeah.
I think long-term you need to hire somebody, but I think it's a disservice that I start in this as project 1.
But if full disclosure, I've been talking to Marty and those guys about their interest and this is just me. I've not gone anywhere else except for here and Marty, but I've talked about just getting rid of planning and zoning.
And
I don't
I
know.
think that might be something that might have to happen if there's another reduction in taxes. 'Cause,
I agree.
I sent you the list this morning of, I'd sent Jeff the other day and I copied you too, but I sent all the planning and zoning board members the list of which counties have planning and
Yes.
zoning and what the staffing levels are and what that budget for those. And it's,
Better than $5,000 and half a position.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Marty is, said, let's get done chopping corn and we can talk about it, but I don't know. I'm entertaining it.
But at the very least, I think, right now, there's all those, I mean, people are emailing wanting addresses and they're wanting.
Oh, gosh.
And so we need to probably decide how we wanna take care of that. I mean, I think maybe the emergency management coordinator could take care of assigning addresses.
I think he should.
That's kind of part of his.
Yeah,
This one?
Yeah, I mean, we should expect it,
Yeah.
the position.
I think that position should, from forever, even no matter what else we do.
I agree.
But there's all kinds of little stuff that comes every day that, I mean, I don't even get a chance to look at the emails every day, but when I do, it's, what do I do with this? I don't know, forward it to you.
Yeah,
What do I do with this? I can take care of this. But
I agree.
But I know he's getting the ones that I'm like, I don't know what to do about them. He's like, I don't know what to do about
Well,
them.
you usually call them and ask them, but yeah, being able to take care of most of those is just like a whatever, but it's honestly, it's a guess.
And
Most of it.
there's stuff that I assume probably just needs filed. We get all the
Yes, the DEQ stuff.
DEQ permits. We don't do anything with that, but I'm sure it
It's a
must
permit
get filed
condition.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's a permit condition, it goes with the whatever, and we're missing, we're not putting those
And so
down.
it has to be put somewhere.
Yeah.
But either we're gonna have to contract with somebody to do that, or we're gonna have to get somebody hired.
So,
Because we've been without for quite a while now.
yeah, so if we wanna, Benchmark did get back to us and they do provide some of that service, we should maybe get them on the schedule next time. I'll call them and see if they would like to come in for a meeting or.
Well,
or
and I
not.
know, so I know that there's other folks that are interested.
Okay,
And so but I need to understand the scope. Are we talking a consultant just for this project? Or are we talking maybe two proposals to do short-term and long-term? The issue I'm having with this conversation is if you're entertaining the idea of getting rid of planning and zoning, which
exactly.
I would advocate you keep the planning portion of it, where subdivisions,
Yes,
simple subdivisions, addresses, that work is still necessary, we've gotta have that
Yes.
continue. But the zoning portion of it, so then you could contract with, move addresses to emergency management, contract with somebody to do the simple subdivisions and things like that. So I guess I just need to know what direction you wanna go. Is
the safe, probably right now, the best option for us is a contract with somebody for this project, and I'm not saying make it a tomorrow problem, but we could probably justify that cost and the impact assistance and that project, you know, if it goes beyond 20 months, we'll deal with it after that, but I don't, yeah, at least 20 months, we'll be able to, if we do decide to keep planning and zoning, we can have them be trained, or not trained, but they can work with somebody on the project that knows more about it, and we don't have to train them to do it.
And I would agree that we can contract for this project, but everything we're getting is from some other project.
Exactly.
And so what do we do with that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question. So
Is that something we're gonna contract everything we get? Or are we gonna try and get somebody hired as quickly as possible to take care of that other stuff?
We can do both. And then we can have the planner work with the contractor and steal some of their knowledge. You know, that takes care of our training aspect of it more or less.
Yeah.
They'll probably get a better job done than if we provide. Not Malcolm. Malcolm has
No,
been
I
the
wouldn't let
planner
you know
before,
that.
but yes.
because
So go ahead and get the interviews scheduled
okay,
and we'll,
and prepare a RFP for contracting for the NextEra project
yes.
Yeah.
solely.
Yeah, because I wouldn't expect anybody who's never done that job before to step in and drink from two fire hoses at once.
Yeah.
You know, going forth with this energy thing. Because they're gonna be under the microscope like we are.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, a wet signature from Steve is the end of the end of it. You know.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
I'll get them scheduled and get an RFP and
Thank you.
Any other business?
No, we gotta keep going.
We'll consider ourselves adjourned.
Does it stay here?